What is up? What is up, everybody? It is Friday night. Yes, it is. Listen, a lot of times in New York, for 9 months out of the year, we don't get good weather. We just don't. And here we are. We're approaching the end of June. Okay, so not only do we have some insider leaks coming out with gaming information for next week, but here we are at the end of June. And in New York, we haven't had great weather. We just haven't had great weather. But now, this weekend is the kickoff. We've got a lot of high 80s, low 90s. People are out. People are barbecuing. People are swimming. But you know what? You're here right now. And I appreciate that. I appreciate every single one of you guys. As you guys can see, we have a phenomenal panel put together. And we have at least 2 others joining us as the show progresses. But I want to take a second real quick and thank every single one of the Mooch Maniac family members. If you look right above that description right there, you'll see the join button. If you guys would be so humble, so kind, to please join the Mooch Maniac families, I appreciate it. It means the world to me. It means the absolute world to me. That being said, guys, I want to thank each one of these guys one by one, and then we're going to get this amazing dais that we have together for you in these great topics. The great Sir X, man. Shout out to JudaZuk, WoolleyGamer, Frostbite Slash, MumbleRanting Gaming, Tyson Web 509, TrueWiddy, Kn1ght Ripper7, Big Truck 777, Alphonso Carter, Brap, Jamie, Damien, CJ UK, the great Jimmy Harrison, who's here, Zambila Ice Cream, Andy Hart, Replicant, Dad of War, our newest Mooch Maniac who's back. God bless him. The great Wraith the Emperor. I completely apologize. I messed it up, Wraith. I apologize. I'm so sorry about that. The great Major Mooch Maniacs, Jay Bari, Domino Zero, Supreme Samurai. Who are you, 5? Okay, my boy, your boy Ray. I saw your boy Ray in there. He goes, Mooch, we're all here. Family's here. Great. Smokes 901, Tactical Gamer, Danelle Brown, That Guy Smitty, 4-Star General, Brian B, a.k.a. Delirium Blades. I hope I'm saying it right. This is too exciting. A new Mooch Maniac family member right now, Isaac Gentry. Thank you. Is it Isaac? Isaac? Maybe it's Isaac. I'm really bad at this. You tell me how to say it in the chat.
Go with Isaac.
Is it Isaac? Or I threw 2 A's in there. I maybe threw an extra A in there, Xbox. I think I went too many A's. That's my fault. Our VIP Mooch Maniacs, you guys are all amazing. Thank you so much. The great Marty Bison, Shadow Assassin, Rated D Demonic, Strictly Gaming. Shout out to Strictly. The Wise Old Gamer, Percolator 9000, the great Percolator 9000, you guys. And he's back. The great Gamer Persona. He's a Mooch Maniac again, Major Mooch Maniac. You guys are going to hear from him. He's very opinionated tonight, and I am excited to have him back on the show. Man, this is going to be a great show. Shout out to Lady Foxfire. I see you're out there, too. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's warm. I know you guys got better things, maybe. But this show's going to be fantastic. Outstanding. Well, speaking of fantastic, outstanding, insanely opinionated, the man himself is here. We waited for him. We didn't go live without him. We just can't do it. The great Crap Gamer is back. Crap. How the hell you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm not that opinionated. Come on.
Well, you're not that opinionated.
Crap, we want to see your face, man.
Yeah, well,
we want to see his face.
We might have to do that. I might have to change
Hey,
the whole
man,
show.
when everybody else starts doing that all the time, man, I'll be happy to jump in and do that.
You know what, Crap? We might do. Maybe you know what, guys in the chat. You know what, Crap just made a good point. Let us know as the show goes on. If you want Crossfire to go on cam, you let me know. Crap, by the way, I do think you're using your cam mic right now. I'm not sure.
Crap is using his inner bot voice right now.
I don't think it's your. I think it's the cam mic again. So shout out to the great Crap Gamer. I appreciate Crap being here. Speaking of opinionated, the man himself is also here. You guys might know him. Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Brap, how the hell you doing tonight, buddy?
Double kill. Microtransactions.
Yeah,
that's all I got to say about that. No,
we're getting into it tonight, buddy.
Hey, look, it's great to be here, Mooch. Let me tell you something. I've had a very long week at work and
yes.
With other things in the political spectrum. So it's really great to be here. And we got Persona, and Persona's always a great guest. And we got the Xbox Defense Lawyer back. So
yeah, that's what I can't wait to. I was just gonna say,
it's great times, man. It's great.
Listen, I got news for you. Right over my house, I heard the jet. I heard it. It's unbelievable. So he literally just flew in from Redmond. Okay, this is on Phil's tab. It's on Phil's tab. I don't have to pay a darn thing. I'm just a mooch looking to get expertise from the great Xbox Defense Lawyer himself. The great Xbox 448 is finally back on Crossfire. Xbox, we missed you dearly. Welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing tonight?
What is going on, people? What is up, chat? And of course, what is up, panel? Yeah, Mooch, dude, I miss you guys too, man. And you know, from hearing the shows and stuff like that, I could tell you sorely missed the Xbox Defense Lawyer, man. It was getting kind of out of control. I am here to reel it back in. No doom and gloom, all positivity. Let's go.
I love it, buddy. You're like a rabbit's foot. You're just good luck all the time, Xbot. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said,
God, rabbit's foot.
He is. He's good luck. Listen, let me tell you right now. We've got a couple of guests coming, but let me tell you, I'm excited about this guest. The great Gaming with Persona is back on the show. Persona, listen, let me tell you something. We said it before the show. I'm going to let the people on air know about this, okay? Because every time I listen to his show, he'll be like, Mooch, who's yelling? Who's yelling? You guys might know the whole story, but literally, when me and Crap do podcasts, people are always like, who's this guy yelling? I always hear that from people. It's my channel. It's me. I'm yelling. But I'm yelling this much right now because I'm excited that the great Gaming with Persona is here. Persona, I know you're not going to waste my time. I know you're going to respect my opinion. Persona, welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing this evening?
Human.
Hey, man, listen, what is good, YouTube? What is good, PlayStation Nation? Your boy Persona. Listen, man, Mooch, I'm so happy to be here. Shout out to the panel. I can't wait to talk games and talk all the news and whatnot that's happening this week. And listen, Mooch, I say it every time I'm a guest on the show. I think maybe because the chat is starting to warm up to me now here on your channel. So yeah. I think maybe like 4 or 5 people might say,
Well, you know, Mooch, why do you keep bringing that Persona guy back on your show? He's such a pony toxic fanboy. He should not be on your show. If you do not get rid of him, I'm unsubscribing from your channel, Mooch.
I'm leaving.
You understand? So, you know, I count maybe 4 or 5 people will say that, but we'll see. We'll see. The chat has warmed up to me. They love me now, so we'll see. I'm glad to be here.
Persona, last time you were on the show, the chat absolutely loved you, man.
Hey, Persona, by the way, I have kids and a family. Can we get that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, he's got it.
Take my time. I got a wife and kids.
One of the reasons, honestly, I got to tell you.
You got to respect my time. I have a wife and kids.
Absolutely.
I legit, you know, went and started listening a while back now to What's Up PlayStation, Persona's show with Jay Barry on Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Got to promote that Eastern Time, by the way. Us New Yorkers.
Absolutely.
New Yorkers game too. I know.
Mooch,
everything in gaming is West Coast.
That is the best time, by the way.
Absolutely. It's the Lord's time. Absolutely. I agree with you guys.
That is the Lord's time.
Hey, listen, you don't have to convince me.
When the Lord came back to life, it was East Coast time.
I think he was absolutely.
It wasn't Mountain Standard or whatever.
It was 9 a.m. in New York, and he wanted the coffee.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Listen, I can tell you.
Jesus was like, wait a minute, is Starbucks open? I just resurrected. Yeah, he probably wanted more than coffee, but you know.
But you know the thing that's great about What's Up PlayStation, you guys, and this is the thing, Persona, you always talk about with the chat and you going back and forth. You guys are always talking about games, man. You know, and it's like, you know, that's the one thing that I love. A lot of people always ask me, say, Mooch, why do you do the show every week? You know, myself personally, I love talking about games, but I also love the news. I love the industry. I love the business. It's fascinating. Yeah. And you know, the reason too, just to kind of do a little side note here while we wait for some more people to shuffle in, is just that. When it comes down to it, this was a hobby, okay? Let me tell you, everybody's got short-term memory. If everybody will remember for a moment, this was a hobby that nobody would say would be main. It was never a main, like, event. Nobody would ever wear T-shirts broadcasting iGame.
No.
Nobody, right? Now
Mooch,
it's the cool thing to do.
You got bullied at school if you were a gamer.
You could not mention that.
Back in the day, man, being like, you know, nowadays it's mainstream or whatever to be like a geek or a nerd or whatever, but you know,
Persona, it's sexy. It's sexy right now.
It really
is.
You couldn't do this back in the day. You just couldn't
do it. You could. Mooch, like you would get beat up. Like seriously, I remember like you played Dungeons and Dragons. You play Zelda. You're a nerd. Like it was like seriously, it was really that bad. Now you can go into, you know,
you had to go through all that because like I don't know, for some rhyme or reason. Like
I wasn't getting bullied. I was the bully beater upper.
Oh, there you go, Persona. See, that's that New York state of mind.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a 6 foot tall. I'm a big guy, man. I was
chicks
getting.
might look at you a little bit weird, but when it came down to like
the chicks did not. The chicks liked it.
Well, you know what it was? It wasn't even that it was really like the bully thing. It wasn't like that. But the point of the matter is that it wasn't. You said it best right there, Persona. It was not mainstream. It was not. It
wasn't mainstream.
It wasn't a thing. Now it's. I got to be honest with you. And this is, by the way, I mean this is a total positive. It's water. It's water cooler talk Like, there's people talking about the new Modern Warfare at work, in the office. Are you picking it up? I mean, listen, I understand all of us hardcore were like, oh, that's just a casual thing. Listen, I welcome all gamers. I don't care if you only play Madden. I don't care if you only play Call of Duty. I don't care.
Mooch,
I'm happy
Mooch,
that you're playing games. Yes.
Mooch, do you really welcome all gamers?
100%.
Because I will say this. PC is the best platform to play games right now.
Well, you know, you say that
and I don't feel like you welcome the
Here we
PC
go.
platform.
Well, listen, you know what?
Well, I mean, Persona, I gotta bring that up because
Mooch,
it is.
This is the problem. You see, Mooch?
It's
PC
not a problem.
gamers,
It's
you
not a
can't do any type of conversation without a PC gamer trying to sell you PC. Every single time. They're trying to sell you a PC, Mooch.
They used to sell vacuums door to door. Now I got Brad selling PCs.
Yo, Mooch, you gotta hang up a no soliciting sign at the door.
Sign at the show. Hey,
Yeah,
you know what?
Persona
Listen,
worked on you though.
I was just gonna say the great slow-mo backstop is here. Slow-mo, you wonder why I have to have you on the show. You have to be here to keep Brad in check, slow-mo.
I know, Brad. You gotta stop. You gotta stop telling people. Look, you're not lying.
Slow-mo,
But
you
don't
are
have to throw it
the
in their
Jimmy
face
Swaggart
like
of the
every
PC
chance.
gaming space.
I'm the what?
Oh, you're the
Jimmy
what?
Swaggart.
I don't know about that one.
What?
Look,
You are the evangelist, is what I'm saying.
I am not. No, all I do is like I play my games, I post my screenshots and my videos. You see my frame rate ticker. You see what I'm working with. I just play games, man. I'm not
Where do you
here.
play games at though, Slow-mo?
Of course, primarily PC, but I had.
He's everywhere. Slow-mo's everywhere, man. He's everywhere. He's like Visa.
I have all platforms. I have all. Like I can't do the Persona voice.
I'm neutral.
Yeah, I can't do. But no, I got everything. I play on everything. I wait for nothing. So PC ain't got everything day and day. I mean, we can get that. We can get that Nintendo.
No, it doesn't. But if you want the definitive experience, though, where do you get that at?
Oh,
that's my
question.
Only
one place. It's only one place.
PlayStation.
Thank you.
PlayStation.
PlayStation. Yeah, no.
PlayStation is the only place you can play all your multiplayer and play Horizon, GT, and God of War Ragnarok this year.
Oh wow. That is a great sales pitch there, Persona. Well, listen, let me do this, guys.
I mean, that is true. He's right.
Crap, I don't get segues like that all the time. I gotta use that.
Well, what Persona's saying is, if you have to own anything, own a PlayStation 5 and or PC is what he's saying. But
try to slip that PC shit.
Yeah, I didn't hear that last part.
PlayStation all the way. It probably a little sprinkle of Nintendo Switch. You know, a little Switch.
No.
We're not doing that.
No.
We are not promoting no Nintendo Switch out here. We ain't promoting no 30 frames per second garbage. If that.
Slow-mo, are you telling me I'm the only one hyped to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3? Is no one else hyped to play that?
I'm gonna pick it up.
We'll play it on PC.
I know you're not hyped for that frame rate
version.
I mean, you're right.
Yeah. I'm saying, look.
Hey, you can't
hold
on.
Look. Mooch can attest to this. Persona, go ahead and get yourself a Steam Deck.
Yes, please.
I haven't gotten my email yet.
Oh, you got it?
I've been waiting.
Okay. Look.
Oh, dude, listen.
I promise you, once you get your Steam Deck, that Switch is a frisbee.
Yeah, I will say that will change.
$300 frisbee.
Wait, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is not going to be coming to PC. Yeah, that's only on Switch. Yeah. So
yeah, but there's ways to play
it's
that.
On Steam Deck through emulation, though.
I gotta go through a back door here, and this ain't the mob, okay? This ain't casino, all right?
This ain't the mob, he said.
I want to just get the game and play it. If I gotta go through this back door and that back door, hey Vinny, come check him out. Like, come on, man.
But Persona, if you're passionate,
if you want the best, it's a little work, man.
If you're passionate, exactly.
All right, so listen,
like if you want to make money, you gotta put in the work.
Brap, I just heard the doorbell. I made sure it wasn't you selling PCs at the door. Let me get to these topics. We got so many topics, and I got so little time.
It's Slow-mo's fault.
Well, listen,
I did not start this. Enrique works for CyberPower PC. He out here just promoting and promoting.
I got the chat asking me, Mooch.
I'm counting 11 topics. Let's see how.
I know. I got 11 topics. Listen, Xbot. The over-unders on 5.
I'm taking.
Let's go.
3 topics.
The over-unders on 5. I got Persona on 3, taking the under. Okay, that's fine. That's not a problem. Listen, I'm gonna start.
I want to see Crap's face again. That's all I want to see.
You will see it.
Because Crap saved the Xbox show, by the way. I just leave it at that.
He did save it, to be honest with you. Listen, I want to put.
Someone who showed Forza Motorsport. Damn, Crap. Good look, bro.
Yeah,
Good look, bro.
Good look at that,
No,
crap.
hey, crap drinking chocolate vodka. Say the show, crap. By the way,
Man, yeah. I had a lot to drink that day, nothing to eat. I was sick as shit. I
Crap,
was
you
very
scared,
man.
you scared the
Afterwards,
crap
yeah.
out of me when I saw bubbles coming out of that bottle of vodka. That really,
dude. Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't the smartest thing, but I was having fun.
I gotta be honest with you though. You know what? Not only did you
I
have a good
must. It was
time.
great. I thought it was great.
No, he
Crap
had a good
was like,
time.
hey, I'm
And
here.
I don't know how he did it, but
Crap,
his
at least you weren't by yourself, Crap.
his
That's
blood
it.
alcohol
true.
dropped as we went through the show, so he was like on top of his game by the middle
There
of
was
that
a
show. It
point. There was a
outstanding.
point there. Yeah, there was a point there where I was just like inhibitions. While my wife texted me, she's like, "Don't start talking about stuff that you don't."
She's
You know,
just
and I was
watching you
like,
from the. I don't blame
yeah.
her.
She knows you, crap. She's
Tell
like, stop.
Mrs. Crap I
Yeah,
said thank
yeah.
you very, very much. The
Yeah.
great Crap Gamer. No, honestly, it was. I want to put Persona on the hot seat here, guys. So Persona, I like to put a guest on the hot seat when we start. This isn't really even a hot seat question. Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. But let's talk about God of War. You mentioned it. You said you gave the segue yourself as we go into a place to play. A lot of people have been sitting here, and rightfully so. You know, me and Crap go back and forth with it all the time, and he's got a very good point. Here we are sitting here. We've been saying God of War Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok. It's coming this year. You see Corey Balrog. He's the Twitter extraordinaire, or a troll extraordinaire on Twitter. He's doing his thing, right? So, Persona, when you shout out to the snitch too, who kind of broke it at insider_W2F. Got to give him credit where credit's due,
that's
right?
like the perfect name for an insider.
It really
too.
is, though.
Yeah,
man.
pretty
It's
much.
perfect from the top to the. It's just outstanding. So, Persona, let me ask you: do you think, considering the unbelievable resume that he has, do you think we're going to be hearing anything? The numbers were 11110, and I might be have thrown an extra one there, which binary, which was 30, right?
Yeah.
So everybody said
Yeah.
it was going to be the 30th of June. So,
Yeah.
Persona, are you expecting that? And what are you expecting? Just an announcement, a state of play? What?
So shout out to the snitch, because the snitch is batting like 9 for 9 right now. Like
He really is.
Like I don't really put a lot of faith in.
I'm the snitch, by the way.
He said a snitch, by the way. He
I was gonna say, you might want to rephrase
No,
that.
I said I am the snitch.
Oh, okay. But I think when it comes to him, like, I put a lot of faith in. Like, I'm putting a lot of faith into him because he's been right so many times. I'm like, all right, this is an insider, and it's not just like a one-sided. Oh yeah, I know a lot about PlayStation, but nothing else. He's been right about multiple things just across the industry. So this is definitely somebody that's very well connected and very high up on the food chain within the industry that is really getting is very privy to this information. But I think when it comes to the binary code, which is 4 1s and a 0, when you do convert that, it converts to 30 in decimal, which June 30th is next Thursday, and we know that PlayStation is known for putting, doing their state of plays on a Thursday. So I have faith that we're going to be getting that announcement. I thought we would have gotten the announcement today, and I was about 85% sure we would have got the announcement today, but because of what's going on in the real world today, I don't want to bring that up here, but I think PlayStation pumped the brakes on that. So I think that we'll definitely get.
They've done that in the past.
Yeah,
They've done
as they should, by the way, as they should.
Listen, what's happening in the world, and I don't want to bring that there, but what's happening in the real world definitely takes precedence. So rightfully so. But I think Monday we'll get the confirmation like, hey, tune in Thursday, state of play, blah blah blah. I'm 100%. I'm saying this live on your show, Mooch. I'm 100% sure that we are getting that announcement either Monday or Tuesday of a state of play for next Thursday. And that state of play, I think we're going to get new gameplay, a breakdown, kind of like what they did with Horizon Forbidden West. Breakdown, trailer, release date, and there was a second tweet that the snitch put under his initial tweet that also had the GIF order, right? So I'm thinking that will also mean that pre-orders will also go, like, how they show like the whole collector's edition and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And so pre-orders might also go live next week as well for like the collector's edition, for the deluxe edition, digital and all that stuff.
So let me just play devil's advocate real quick with you guys, real quick. And in Persona, you can answer. By the way, feel free to chime in here, chat. But
I have a question for Persona, by the way, but go ahead, Mooch.
Well, my thing about this, though, is I'm glad to hear that. I completely endorse what Persona's saying, but here we are at the end of June, right? So if June 30th does, in fact, be the state of play, when is it we can start to expect Sony's game showcase, their showcase? Is it going to be August? Is it going to be September? I mean, we have a game September. I believe it's September 2nd. The Last of Us Part 1. They're going to want to have something before that game comes out, I would think, that broadcasts what we can see this fall, right?
No, well, so if we look at the history of PlayStation the past couple of years, especially post-pandemic, PlayStation has done their showcase in September. Last year they did it September 9th. So with the news, and I don't want to get ahead of the show, but with the news that they are pulling out of Gamescom,
Yes.
and Gamescom is so late in August, and it's like right around the corner from September. My thinking is that PlayStation is good. You know, they're just, hey, we're already doing a showcase in September, in early September, so it doesn't make sense to, you know, kind of be like, hey, look, we here and we're here. So I think we'll definitely be getting that showcase announcement closer to the end of the summer. And last year they also did their showcase around the same time that director's cut for Death Stranding and Kn1ght and all that. Like a bunch of games were dropping around the time of the showcase, and they still had a showcase. So yes, Last of Us 1 remake is a big game, and a lot of people are picking that up. But I don't think that takes precedence over the showcase. I think
Absolutely.
they both can kind of live in the same realm.
Okay. All right. So now what's your question, Brad? You got a question for Persona, and then I want to go over to get a few more opinions on this.
No, so my question is, if they don't do this thing in the end of June, when do you think they'll do it? Because like we've all speculated that they might release this game November. People said like November 11th through the whole Starfield thing, right? That's not happening. But and B Money seems to think that there's going to be a release in November. But if it doesn't, like, do they have to show a showcase in the end of June, or could they do something in September and still have
are we talking God of War, or are we talking
God of War? Yeah, I'm sorry, God of War. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, a God of War. So if nothing happens next week, like no state of play, no none of that, honestly, I'm in the dark. I can't even speculate at that point where I'm like, all right, this is all I have to go off of. I thought you would have done it sooner or during like the Summer Game Fest time, but they didn't. So I think what'll most likely happen is Corey Barlog is confident it's coming out this year. He's been teasing like hell all week. All week. This man has been teasing. What we got with the snitch. And if you check Sony Santa Monica's official Twitter, it still says 2022. Right, everything leads to 2022. If you check the PlayStation Store under the coming soon section, God of War still says 2022. So everything that PlayStation is not one to string you along like that on some bullshit. You understand? If the game was truly delayed, like people want to say or want to claim that it is, Corey Barlog wouldn't be playing around like this.
That's the thing. I agree with that. That's why when you see Corey doing this, he can say he's trolling or whatever, but he's legit not going to tweet about these things if this, in fact, is not coming this year. Would you guys say, could we say it's 95% sure it's coming this year, or should we hold it?
Definitely. It should be 100% at this point.
I'm 100%
sure it's definitely coming this year. Yeah. Okay. So I guess my other question is, so if they do a state, do we think they're going to do a state of play strictly for God of War?
Yeah.
And if they do, are they going to do a PlayStation showcase? Because I have to believe that Sony is not just going to do a state of play with God of War and not talk about anything else, right?
Yeah, they would. They did that with GT7. They did that with Last of Us 2. They did that with Rise of the West. They'll do a dedicated 15. Yeah, they'll do a dedicated 15, 20 minutes state of play. The state of plays and the showcase are two separate things. Don't think of them as one and the same. Both can coexist and both be something that happens in two different times of the year. Just like last year when we got the Horizon Forbidden West state of play in May, and we got the PlayStation Showcase, which showed a plethora of games in September.
That's true, yeah.
Think of it like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's your point.
Yeah, you're going to get a dedicated state of play, and then probably like the PlayStation Showcase in like August or September or something like that. Like it'll be like they're separate things. Like they know they want to make sure that God of War gets all of its attention that it deserves. That people get a full understanding of what the game has in store, what the differences are between this one and the previous game, and basically just answer all questions and then throw out their release date and pre-order information and all that stuff. All that's going to get done before they do a showcase. So that like if the date for the game is like November for God of War, they'll still probably show something at the showcase, but the showcase won't be bogged down by trying to give as much time to other games as possible while also giving God of War its due. Whereas like 15 minutes of a 90-minute showcase goes to God of War, whereas they could have showed like 3 or 4 games in that time period, you know? So it's
not only that, but we also follow the normal route of marketing, right? So if State of Play happens next, or when State of Play happens next week, speak it into existence, when it happens next week, that still leaves 4 months of marketing and getting everything together. And PlayStation's not really one, and none of these companies, I don't want to just make this a PlayStation thing, but none of these companies are really ones like, oh, after we show the game is when we're going to start making copies and collecting. All that stuff is already being made now. Right. All that stuff is being, and plus PlayStation 5s are, and I don't want to get ahead of your shot line, Mooch, but
that's all right. A lot of these topics all kind of blend together. They do.
Hey, Persona, they don't sell well in Japan compared to the Xbox Series X or S.
I mean, selling a week versus a month,
I know, man.
Well, shout out to the great Zuby Tech. Zuby, I appreciate you being here in the chat. Really, I appreciate all the things you do online, all the information you give us. He's here in the chat with us live, and he says, don't forget, guys, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Forbidden West, Hogwarts Legacy, all got standalone state of play, so no big shock here. Crap, I'm going to go to you because we talk about this all the time. So if, in fact, which we're at 100, people are saying 99%, 100% sure, if there's a state of play on June 30th for God of War Ragnarok, the one thing that we always say is if we're going to get dedicated shows for this, then I hope when we see the Sony Showcase, I'm calling it the Sony Showcase, the PlayStation Showcase, I'm hoping that they don't waste too much time regurgitating basically the same thing. So are we going to get a maybe a 35, 40-minute show without God of War being shown there? Crap, and also, do you think you're going to get a June 30th state of play?
Somewhere in there, man. Come on.
Well, I don't know. Not sure. Crap, are you here? I'm not sure if Crap's here. I lost Crap. Well, Xbot, I'll turn the question.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. Yeah, there you are, Crap.
There he is.
Yeah. Like I don't think that Stitch guy is wrong very often, right? He hasn't been wrong yet. So I would assume whether it's the 30th or not, or we decoded something that he had different in mind or whatever, I don't know. But I would assume that we're gonna see something from that on the 30th, and will they show that stuff again at a dedicated PlayStation? I don't know, maybe a quick trailer or something. I don't know. It depends on how Sony's feeling, I guess. It's all sort of in flux right now.
Right.
So I don't really know. It's really hard to say. It's like these aren't very simple times like what we used to have back in the day. Where we'd have a E3, or whatever. Like that to me was much simpler than kind of the guessing game. We don't know. I mean, like Sony used to do multiple shows. Like Gamescom used to be a thing. They had their own PSX or whatever. So yeah, like it's hard to say. I do think that we will get something dedicated specifically for God of War. I think that's their big game for the rest of the year. So they definitely will do something for that, probably along the same lines that they did with Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo and things like that. So yeah, I think they're definitely going to do that. And, we'll see what happens down the road. I think, they're rumored to do something in September.
I guess it will be September. That's the rumor as well. And that's what Persona was saying as well, is that we'll see something probably in September. I thought it would have been prior to September because of The Last of Us Part 1 coming out in early September. I thought they would have wanted to have it before that. But I guess now I'm hearing after. So, I mean, I guess that's fine. But, I mean, there's just...
Mooch, they both can coexist, Last of Us 1 is definitely a monumental game, but a Last of Us 1 and a PlayStation Showcase, I mean, a showcase is showing, it's like an hour and a half showing a ton of games. I don't think PlayStation putting precedence of Last of Us over a showcase, that doesn't make sense to me. And looking at the history, they've done it in September before with other big titles coming out like Death Stranding and whatnot.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. So Xbox, go ahead, Brad.
And I think I was going to say, I think that speaks to like what Jim Ryan has talked about. Like he said, the PlayStation 5, we're going to let the games do the talking, right? So that speaks to that, and you could have all these like big reveals and all these, games that are highly anticipated within months of reveal or whatever the case is from each other. And it's just building it's building a case to why you should own a PlayStation 5. So that's just my 2 cents, but
yeah. No, I hear you. Xbox, what do you think about this? I mean, you're also, because I'm going to jump to another subject here, but I mean, do you think that this is this is a reliable source at this point? This is as sure as tomorrow being Saturday.
Well, first off, I gotta throw it out there. People know me as an Xbox guy, and throughout all the doubt and stuff like that was out there, I've been on this show and next podcast trying to tell everybody, dude, God of War Ragnarok's coming this year. Don't think it's being delayed until next year or anything like that. Don't believe all that BS. A lot of people out there, fighting this fictional console war mumbo jumbo, and they want that delayed off, but it's not going to be delayed. That's the whole reason why PlayStation knew that the PS5s weren't going to be in abundance this year, and it is one of the main reasons why they started making PS4s again.
Yeah,
to make sure that people had a console to play this game, Horizon Forbidden West and GT7. That's why they put these out there. All right, so I mean, in terms of when PlayStation is going to do their showcase, let's be honest, the way that they feel, they can do it whenever they want. That's the idea I've gotten from them for the last few years. Like, they can do a show whenever they want,
they can't because of the market leader. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do want to say though, I think that's a good point. Now, I don't know if anyone would argue this, but I do think that they have to do it before they get too far into. I think September is the farthest you would wait.
If they're doing a dedicated state of play, right, that is showing one of the most anticipated games to come out this year, all right, that's food for the consumer right there. That is food for the gamer. All right, there's only that gives them space that they can do another show pretty much whenever they want. After that, or even with the Last of Us remake coming out. Let's be honest here. Last of Us has a dedicated fan base, right? They can do a show after that game releases and still kind of throw it in the show somewhere and still kind of build hype, but it's gonna fly off the shelf right off the bat from the dedicated fan base.
Well, it's funny
you also have to look at the PlayStation Showcase as a means of showing what's coming in the near future, right? It's kind of like what the setup was from last year, right? They showed a ton of games that was coming in the future, 2 or 3 years down the line. I think when they do a showcase this year, is them reiterating some of that stuff. So we may get some KOTOR updates, Spider-Man 2 updates. Wolverine might get an official actual trailer, not just a teaser, things like that, and also see what Ben is working on, what Deviation, Firewalk. There's a lot of things that's cooking at PlayStation Studios where the show, and then obviously their third-party partners and deals and whatnot.
Persona.
Go ahead.
Don't be surprised that, because Sony already stated that they're gonna have 10. Well, how many games as a service games?
12.
By 2026.
2025. 12.
12. So don't be surprised.
12
if
and
really
and 30
switch
first party exclusives
and start focusing on those games coming out within the next few years as well. You know what I'm saying? I think you're gonna see a pivot at some point in time. I
don't think it'll necessarily be a pivot. I think it'll just be more. You're still getting your big budget, your single player games. That's still coming. But I just think
game as a service is can be big budget as well, bro.
No, it can. I misspoke when I said that. But what I'm trying to say is, the single player titles that has made PlayStation, when Jim Ryan presented the strategies a month or so back, it showed games as a service becoming a larger part of the pie, but single player is still as high up there as well. But I mean, I don't want to write off the games as a service games, at least not 100% yet, until I see at least one or two of them.
I know that they're going to get a major focus, especially with so many titles supposedly coming out within the next couple of years. Like, I think they are going to get a major focus. I mean, bottom line with that is,
it's definitely going to be a bigger focus, because they put in, I think, about 30 or so billion into it. Yeah, it's going to be a big focus. It's going to be a very big focus. Basically, you don't buy Bungie and say, we bought Bungie because we wanted them to teach us how to maneuver through the games as a service market, and not.
No, they have
a big
them,
focus on that. Absolutely,
overseeing all of it. They have them basically in control of all of it, which is a brilliant move, because you've seen what they did with Destiny, and Destiny 2, and throughout all the hiccups, all the complaints and stuff like that, you still see how popular that game is, kind of like moving forward. And they have definitely perfected the art of dropping content, season passes, and getting people to buy stuff in the game.
Let me piggy.
It'd be great if 343i could do that, but you know,
I'm gonna just slightly, because Xbot and Persona really kind of opened the door to one of my other topics here. I want to talk about. I got a couple super chats here. I want to say shout out to the great Jimmy Harrison. He says, "What's up, my brothers? Love the show. Hey, bro, I'm going to play some Xenoblade 3 Chronicles 3. So." You are not alone, brother. Shout out to the great Jimmy Harrison. Jimmy, thank you for that super chat. The super chat's working. It's a miracle. Crude Oil says, any thoughts on Battlefield 2042 update? If we had the great Strictly Gaming here, you would have got quite the mouthful. Because I got news for you. Strictly is still playing Battlefield 2042 when these updates come out. So shout out to Strictly. And then Luis Cabrera, he says, make sure you go out there and vote for those midterms. He says they're going to come down on video games as an excuse for gun violence. Listen, Luis. You go out. I do agree. I think everybody should go out there and vote. But nonetheless, I want to say this much. I've been playing video games since the 80s. And as a matter of fact, for me, it's a stress relief. It's a stress relief. So I want to say that. But go ahead and do what you got to do. I want to open this up, guys. This is a big thing. So we're talking about what PlayStation has shown. We're talking about things that are going on with Xbox and with their showcase that just passed through. I want to say this much. Do you guys think, and I'll start with the great Slow-Mo backslap. Slow-Mo, what's your take on this? All of the GameStops today, basically across the U.S., okay, I know all of the ones here by me, had a ton of PS5s available today, starting today.
Nice.
Do you think, honestly, a couple of my friends
actually— They're all gone now.
They're gone. They are gone. My buddy waited in line. He was there at 8 in the morning. They opened at 11. I got to be honest with you guys. So what do you think, Slow-Mo? Do you think now that we're hearing, okay, there's articles out that are saying the chip shortage is coming to an ease right now. Things will start to change and get a lot better for both Xbox and for PlayStation. But I know that PlayStation's always kind of gotten the brunt of it. They're saying that the shipments to increase as chip shortages ease. Do you think that now that more PlayStation 5s may be going out into people's hands as we go through the fall and holiday season, not just today, but through the fall and holiday season, do you think this encourages Sony to show maybe more now of their future projects?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now that they're certain that the target sales numbers that they were anticipating for these games, as they were kind of like, overseeing development, might actually will still be able to hit those targets based upon where they expected the console sales to be. I mean, like yesterday, they did a PlayStation Direct, which I don't know how often they've been doing them. I know they stopped doing them for a while, and then they kind of started to pick them back up. I jumped into the Direct just to see if I could potentially get one. I wasn't even looking for one, and yeah, I could have got the Horizon Forbidden West bundle if I wanted it. I just got some new covers for my PS5 instead. But it's like I've been noticing more and more, like I talk to Forte all the time. He's always talking about how they got more drops coming. Supplies getting better. And crypto isn't as in demand as far as as it was at one point. Definitely not as in demand for GPUs as well. So like you're starting to see in all the different markets where TMSCs still in high demand, but like those chips were, and the creation of these products was being hindered, starting to ease up. And I kind of anticipate that's going to continue on throughout the year. And with that continuing on, you're going to start seeing more of those games probably like just being announced like, hey, look, it's going to be just on this platform. Like how with Gotham Knights at one point was supposed to be cross-gen. I mean, it's still a cross-gen game in development, but at least it's only being sold on like the next-gen console, or the current-gen console. So I think we'll start to see more of that as time goes on.
Yeah, shout out to the Great Gaming Forte. I know that, like I said, when I say a lot, I mean
the 25.
What did he say?
He said in the chat he sold like 25 bundles.
Yeah, so 25. I was going to say, I know that a lot of stores got a lot of them. So this is an interesting thing, right? This is all just kind of overnight springs. We just had articles not even a month ago, right? Didn't we say a month ago on the show? People were like, oh my God, this chip shortage is going to go right into 2024. Might even go into 2025. Everybody freak out. All right. So now we're hearing things are kind of getting easy. And shout out to Slow-Mo for bringing that up.
That's what analysts were saying.
They
too,
were
though.
saying
like,
that.
Analysts were saying that crazy shit. So a lot of people were running with that. But
analysts are wrong like 80% of the
They
time.
really are. They really
they
I gotta
are.
agree with
And that's
Xbox.
why when I saw PlayStation strategy and they said, oh yeah, this next fiscal year we're aiming at 18 to 20 million, and I'm like, yo, PlayStation's not making the same mistake twice here, because that's what when they first came out the gate, they anticipated 20 million within that first fiscal year.
Didn't they say Didn't they say was it the end of next year or the end of the fiscal year that they said they were going to?
That they were going to have at about 20. They forecast at about 20 million by the end of 2021 or around that time, and obviously it didn't meet those
right.
quotas.
It didn't meet that.
So I'm like,
right.
PlayStation, PlayStation would not make that same mistake twice if they did not rectify the supply chain issues that they were experiencing most of 2021 and some of 2022. And from what I've been seeing these past couple months, past couple weeks, I would even say like a month, maybe even 2 months, I was even able to get a PlayStation yesterday, a second one for the bedroom. So I'm like, yeah, and I've been seeing drops like crazy, like online. I've been getting emails like crazy. I've been seeing Wario and PS5 Finder and all that posting constantly every day. Amazon sent me an invitation link for Prime, like, hey, come through and buy. I'm like, damn, like, yeah, that supply is definitely. I think we're about to see that they about to kill it.
Yeah, that supply is so much better. It used to be before when you would see like on Twitter or you would hear, hey yo, so and so, this website's got PS5s. As soon it's like the tweet's 2 minutes old. You go check. And everyone's like, "Yep, it's sold out already." And it's just like it wasn't because like
gone.
It was partially due to the demand, but it was also partially due to there was very little supply given to that vendor or that retailer in order to sell. And now I'm starting to see like I'll see a tweet. Someone say, "Hey, look, this bundle is still up. This website still got it." It's like an hour later. I'm like, wow, they still got they got a lot more supply than they used to have.
Yep.
And
that's good though.
That's a great thing.
More PS5s are getting out there.
Thing.
That's speeding up the process of third-party devs moving over, and also PlayStation. Everyone can now be like, all right,
let's this generation in high gear, right, Persona? I mean, we've been sitting here kind of like all of us stalling out a bit, and I think that this definitely ensures that I would say, guys, and I mean, let Sony or Xbox prove me wrong, but I think as we end 2022, I think we're done with cross-gen.
Yeah, it looks that way. I can say that probably going into 2023, probably a couple months into 2023, we'll start getting away from that, because even EA like Jedi Survivor is next gen only. There's a couple games coming out next gen only.
Yeah, I think, but in regards to that, I think it may still be a couple years before we start getting games that are designed from the ground up for this current generation. Because some of these games now, they may just decline to actually do a last gen version, but the game was still designed.
We've had that done on PlayStation 5 though already.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I think he means like Ratchet and Clank.
Like design, like Ratchet
right, yeah. But I'm talking about like on a like an industry.
You're talking about
industry
Xbox
level.
catching up. You're talking about Xbox catching up.
I'm talking about everybody.
You're talking about Xbox catching up.
Xbox.
No,
I'm
it's just
about
Xbox.
everybody, man.
No, it's just Xbox. Because PlayStation is actually the only platform that's delivered current gen games specifically designed from the ground up. So I'll leave it at that. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Someone.
Yeah, I'm just saying everybody will now start like actually designing games.
Xbox fans, yes.
Well, third party too.
Right.
So I think I mean the word on the street is we're not going to be getting, let's just say, a Call of Duty next year. Not this Modern Warfare 2, but supposedly not. But if there were to be one next year, and hopefully there is, then that would be a next gen only title. I would hope. I hope that we're going to see that industry wide.
On PC, yes.
Oh. I thought I heard the doorbell again. I got to get a doorbell sound effect.
No, I think Call of Duty. I don't see Call of Duty giving up last generation
man.
for a while.
You don't think so?
Warzone. I think Warzone 2 is supposed to be next gen only.
Yeah, Warzone 2.
Warzone is. Yeah.
I thought Warzone 2 was going to be cross gen.
No,
it's cross gen. They confirmed it.
Yeah, that they confirmed it. Yeah.
Is it cross-gen?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
They confirmed it.
I thought okay.
I'm sad to say it, Persona, but I thought they said that it was going to house the Xbox One. They mentioned it. It would say they said it would Xbox One would still be able to play Warzone 2. Like I said, now I'm not
if you're an
about
Xbox,
that.
I think
if you're an Xbox fan, you're used to that kind of stuff.
I think the mainline Call of Duty will definitely be next gen only next year.
Oh, you're saying the multiplayer.
Mainline, yeah, the mainline
Yes.
card, not the.
I think that might be
I think that is current gen, and best place to play that is on PC. Yeah.
Oh, there it is again. That's fantastic.
Well, I'm just saying we have real ray tracing, by the way. So I just
Oh,
Slow-mo will agree.
They have real cheaters on PC though.
Yo,
we're talking about the single player. We're not,
wait,
like really dedicated.
I thought I just saw a ban a bunch of. Yeah, I thought I just saw ban a bunch of.
You could cheat on console too, crap. By the way,
not as bad as PC.
Oh yeah, but I mean it's not nearly as bad.
And GameStop sells that cheating mechanism on the regular.
Yeah, but why would you bother with that? I mean, I think PC people don't really care, right? Because you just create a new account, right? If you get banned or whatever.
You create a new account on console too.
PC gamers
but I mean, you lose your games.
Look, if you want to cheat, you don't care about losing your game.
of everyone that plays.
I don't know, man. I always see like mass bannings on PC come across.
I see mass bannings on console too.
Well, they can't.
I have never
if someone
seen that.
uses a Chronos, like you can't ban them for using the Chronos.
Crap! Look up Chronos.
Yeah, I know what it is. I mean, I know what it is, but it's like I just don't see a lot of people, wasting money on that.
I would say it's probably more on PC than on console. I mean, I think that goes without saying. But I mean, at the same time, I'm just excited to get next generation started.
Platform gaming experience that like so many millions of people are on. That you're gonna get a higher like community of cheaters, a higher number in that space because it's a larger pool. You create a larger pool, you're gonna have more.
So you're making an assumption because of a larger pool that there's more cheaters on PC.
No, I'm just talking.
I get it.
Well, listen,
I get it. No empirical data. But I get it. Okay, cool.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. See Saltiest Gaming. Shout out to King Thresh. He says, "Damn console warriors." Shout out to Thresh. Awesome to have him here in the chat. Listen, guys, I want to go on to something else here. So I don't know. I got so many great topics here. I want to go to the Xbot 448 real quick. Xbot.
I know where we're going.
You know where we're going, and I actually want to get more knowledge on the subject. Because I've read what was going on with Digital Foundry. I saw all the tweets online, this and that. What is it exactly? And Xbot, you're always very, very fair when it comes to Forza talk. When it comes to Forza and what we saw with Forza Motorsport at the Xbox Bethesda Showcase, and then what kind of transpired the next week or so after with Digital Foundry's findings about not only the ray tracing situation, and then also there's certain areas where 1080p comes into play, and it's not always 4K. Listen, first of all, whether we're talking about GT or we're talking about Forza, at 125 miles an hour, I think all of this ray tracing talk is kind of comical. I think ray tracing really does come into play when you pause the game or you're in the garage or you're in photo mode. That's when you actually take a picture. Who's like, pause it? So it's like, it's just,
the look like,
what do you think?
You're talking about at 125, it's not really going to make a difference. But when you're blowing by like 10, 12, 14 cars, like that, to have that aesthetic there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to mean something graphically. All right. So if you're just in front all the time, then maybe not so much. But if you're in the battle and you got cars all around you, being able to have that mirror ray tracing
are you seeing those cars in third person or first person?
I drive behind my car.
Yeah, me too. Usually, that's what I would do. I don't really play a whole lot of Forza.
I don't spend all of that time on my vinyls just so I sit in the cockpit and never see them. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So not everyone's going to see what you're describing then.
Well, actually, majority of players do use the camera behind the car. To be really honest with you,
that's how I play.
Yeah, me too.
Majority of players.
Okay.
They use that view. As far as like the whole thing with Digital Foundry, I find it absolutely hilarious that the people that are out there talking this whole situation on social media didn't actually watch the video. that Digital Foundry came out with.
Xbox. So you're telling me people took a selective quote and ran with it?
Yeah.
And made a big deal out of it? That never happens. Come on.
Never happens.
Well,
never
you guys can do that. That
does never happen.
Well, that is the Xbox defense online. But he did say that Xbox was misleading. They did say that. You can't really change those words.
Talking about everything, they explained how Forza is going to have ray tracing 4K 60 frames per second on console as well. They explained what they saw within the demonstration to show that. Now, when it comes to the demonstration running on PC, they literally built that with the one camera system on the PC, spec to what the game is going to be running on the Series X, all right? But they wanted to have it that one camera, no cut. That's why they developed it there. But they came out and told everybody, yeah, the game's running on the Series X with the same graphical fidelity that you saw today. All right. Now, should they have come out and said that from the beginning?
The game running on the Series X. Why all the semantics and bullshit?
Yeah,
exactly. Because they wanted to do absolutely no cuts, one camera, like zooming through. They built that whole thing for that showcase.
It was a little razzle dazzle. Yeah.
Let's hold on. Can we back up for a moment?
The Series X.
And Xbox, not that you're wrong. Can we back up
for a moment?
Persona makes a good point. Go ahead, Slow-Mo.
4K 60 with ray tracing, because look, I don't care about like simulation racers, so I have just been completely ignoring this entire
I'm kind of with you, Slow-Mo.
Is Slow-Mo, is it global illumination ray tracing, by the way?
They're using an interpolation when it comes to the resolution.
But the ray tracing is only on PC though.
No, it's not. It's they came out and said in game on console.
Sorry, global illuminations on console?
No, global
they're
illumination is a type of
that's only going to be in in replays and things like that, but standard ray tracing is going to be in the gameplay. They're going to have they're going to have it,
which is a cheaper version of ray tracing.
It's not cheaper. It's just ray tracing.
That's the word. That is a word that they use.
Hold on. At 4K 60.
Yes, and the way
that's
not happening. 4K 60.
I'm telling you, that's not happening.
It's not happening.
That is not happening.
Not on a $500 hardware, by the way.
You guys don't want to hear it. I mean,
well, hold on. No, go ahead, Xbox. Finish. But I will say
that's not Xbox. That's not happening, by the way.
I didn't mean to make it sound like it was rude.
Well, I mean, listen. 4K is a loose term these days, anyway. They could say 4K 60.
It slows ray tracing on consoles.
They could, and it could be 1440p. It could be 1800p, and they still call it 4K. I mean, everything these days is 4K.
They're using that advanced kind of like checkerboard technique that everybody was talking about, where it does register.
Well, this is that misleading. This is that misleading talk.
A lot of times when we look at these videos, they never actually hit 4K.
All right.
No, they don't.
And then when you talk about adding to the ray tracing, I believe it's VRS, variable rate shading, is heavily used in this game. So basically, what's in front is what you're getting the most absolute detail. What you're basically not seeing, is the system is not really rendering at that point.
Why can't we just get straightforward details? Why all this
this is all details.
Well, I mean, you do have like
it's a lot of
8 to 10 months.
It's marketing. This is all marketing talk, by the way.
Yeah.
This is really marketing speak.
What you saw in the demonstration is the game on console. It is,
but it's not running on console.
It's not running on console.
They never have anything running on console.
Well, Xbox does.
That's not true. That's not true.
When was the last time they ever had anything running on console? I can't think of the last thing
they had.
A
game. They had a game at the show. They had Diablo 4 running on the Xbox Series X at the showcase. So
I've hardly ever seen them. They got in trouble for it before, even with the Xbox One not running stuff on their console. I mean,
Xbox is kind of notorious for this.
Remember,
that's worrying that we
they had dev kits in there. They had
you're right, crap.
People were worried about that too. Remember, we all complained about it with the Series X. We're like, how come you haven't showed us anything? They literally didn't show anything until a couple of months, and everything was fine. I mean, it was.
Well, it's
so,
not that.
Listen,
crap. For most console gamers,
8 to 10 months.
Well, crap. Most console gamers won't know. Most people won't they'll just look at it and be like, whatever. When they see the final product, most people won't hold the developer per se to deliver the tea.
Dude, Turn 10 has
And
done this.
that's how it is.
Every time they come out with a game, and it's come out exactly how they showed it.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about track record on this show. I don't know how many.
I don't believe that.
Sony has a track record and this and that, whatever. So Turn 10 has that track record as well, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I don't doubt that.
But...
I don't doubt that Forza Motorsport is going to have ray tracing on console. I'm not even down that. If they say that it's going to have it on there, I expect it to have it on there.
Right.
But there's actually 3 sides. There's shadows. There's lighting. And
global illumination.
There's in the replays, you're going to have the ray trace global illumination, and then on the track in game, they are going to be using mirror ray tracing. It's the same ray tracing that was used in Spider-Man.
I think the more
all that's
impressive
fine.
Stuff
What I'm trying to say here is all that's fine is that like I do, and maybe this is just me, but I hate seeing things when it says like 4K 60. Like the whole term 4K 60, like it shouldn't be a marketing term. That's an actual resolution. And so people need to stop using, and when I say people, I mean these companies. And it's not just pointing at Turn 10 because they all do it, but stop using 4K as a way to discussing
a talking point within the gaming community.
I know what it became, but what I'm saying is that it should not be that, right? Because you're basically lying to the customer because it's not 4K.
It's deceiving, and that's the one thing that Digital Foundry was getting out.
Yo, Slow-Mo, it's kind of like not showing the game running on the actual console, right? That's deceiving too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Well, I mean, we've talked to devs before and developers that said
that's industry practice, by the way.
Yeah, even if they say running on PS5, they could mean PS5 dev kit, right? Like I've talked to devs before where they've said that like just because it says running on a PS5 does not mean that it's necessarily running on an actual PS5 like a retail unit.
I would trust,
you know what I'm saying? Like it is.
Even if it said running on a PS5 dev kit, it's still housing of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, well, you can also
but usually
in a dev kit than in the retail version as well.
So. Historically speaking, from a marketing perspective, like developers have always like given us vertical slices running on PC because obviously, right? Why wouldn't you run it?
Because they're developing it on the dev kits anyway.
Yeah, and so they have, and so and yeah, I mean, like what Digital Foundry is saying is not, out of bounds per se, because they're right. Like they're not giving us vertical slices from the actual console per se. They're giving us from the best platform to play video games, the PC. I mean,
and you know what's funny about this? If you watch the Digital Foundry thing, they weren't just pointing out Forza. That's the funny thing about it. They were using Forza because it was the latest like racing game to do this, but they were saying that they don't like this practice throughout.
Right.
I agree though.
I agree.
I agree 100%.
And then when it comes down to it, you look at stuff like there are people that are so angered on social media about this whole thing, but then when it came down to it, these are the same people that were tweeting how much Gran Turismo 7 was going to have ray tracing in the game when you were racing, because that's exactly what they were kind of like led to believe. And then it was just the replays, but there was no anger after that. This is something that goes across the board. At least Turn 10 came out and said, no, this is exactly what you're getting in the game. All right. The replays will have the ray trace global illumination.
Gran Turismo did the same thing though.
When did they come out and say that? When did they come
out? Right after the state of play showing it, there was an article that released where they explained everything. And then Kazunori came out. Kazunori came out right after and said it's in the replays and not in what's the name. He came out right after.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, like both, like no company's hands are completely clean in a lot of this stuff, because if you look at it, like Gran Turismo 7, they got that game reviewed and then added microtransactions that pissed people off after it already released, right? I mean, that, like, listen, all these companies are in it for the money. That's what you know what I'm saying? It's marketing, it's hype. That's what they're supposed to do, right?
Like, I mean,
It is. It's all marketing. It's all hype. They want people to get excited for
GT
it.
is not going around telling you 4K 60 this, that, and blah blah blah.
Well, I mean, Sony kind of invented that last generation. Everything was on the Pro with 4K to them. And,
that was
you
the
know,
one
they're
thing.
using upscale and
it was checkerboard. Wait, hold up. Let's stop right there because what they explained last generation with the PlayStation 4 Pro was the new techniques that they developed to get games to run in a state that is somewhat like 4K, but not true 4K, which is the checkerboard rendering.
But there's still 4K on the box.
That's still marketing, though. That's still marketing.
I mean,
they were still marketing on the box and the games.
It's on the box. It is what it is. Like, if they're going to do that, these companies are going to do that because people look for that, right? It's like, you can put a guarantee on a box, but whatever that Tommy Boy movie, I'm sure you guys have seen. I don't know, Mooch. You've seen it, I'm sure, right?
A million times.
Like, I could get a good look at a steak by shoving my head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it.
Right.
Yeah,
oh my God,
it's
really up Tommy Boy. It's a great movie, by the way.
Like, listen, man, like, it's all marketing, right? Like, people like to see
Callahan.
that. Yeah, exactly. Callahan Auto. And the guy's explaining, he goes, yeah, but there's no guarantee on the box. And people like to see it. It comforts them. It makes them feel good. Right? That's basically what 4K is. It makes people feel good. They see it. It's like, oh, I got a 4K TV. This is a 4K game. Right? This is why this is going to continue to happen all around, because people go out, buy a 4K TV. If 8K becomes a standard, these games will be in 8K and have a big 8K thing on there. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, to me, it's all high. They're just trying. I just hope it's a good game, right? Dude, like, they've been. It'll be 6 years.
It'll be a good game.
Forza Motorsport is doing things that I wanted them to do.
Like the dynamic weather and time and stuff. That is stuff.
Grass on the side, so you don't. It doesn't look like an old man who was shaking his hand with a clipper to his head. In terms of the grass that's next to that's all that stuff. Like, all put together.
But you know what's interesting about the Forza thing doing that, Xbox, which I thought about this when Forza Horizon was a thing, and they're using a modified engine for Fable. You might finally see grass grow. Like, that was the original Peter Molyneux thing, right? And he was like, you'll see the grass grow, and this. Like, I think they might actually
cutting a tree and then coming back later, and
the fact that they're and I said that when they introduced in Forza Horizon 4 and they introduced the seasons, I was like, I guarantee you they have those seasons in the next Fable game, because they're gonna. That's what that engine can do, that, right? So now they're gonna have like dynamic grass, and I think that's really cool, like technology and stuff like that. So yeah, that's an exciting thing. 6 years between Forza Motorsport games. I can't wait to see what they have. It looked good to me, so I'm interested to see how it's going to shape up.
Digital Foundry really liked what they saw, by the way.
Yeah, I watched the video. You know what I mean? I saw that.
Can I ask a question? Why are we talking about a racing game and no one has mentioned the cars yet? I've heard grass, trees growing.
Dude,
cars and everything in the
cars, because there's that much to talk about.
In what aspect?
The cars are actually at the top aspect when it comes to everything.
I thought they looked great.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
I
thought it looked great. I thought it looked great too. I actually thought Forza Motorsport was one of the best showings at the Xbox Showcase.
Dude, that was my best. That was
being current gen only should help out tremendously, I think. So. I'm excited for that. I think Forza Horizon 5 looks great, but obviously, being cross-gen, it's not as great as it could be.
I just wish I liked car games, because that, for me, Forza always looks good, and it's also something I just could give zero shits about.
Yeah,
I just
I
don't
hear
care.
you on that, man.
It's, it's that's the thing.
I used to hate racing games. I think it wasn't until the Xbox 360 that I started to get into them. I think it was like Project Gotham Racing 3.
Yeah.
We were talking about that off here.
Yeah, that's what we're saying before the show started.
Yeah, Project Gotham Racing 3 and 4. And then, of course, somebody gave me for a birthday a gift card for Walmart. This was years and years ago. And I saw Forza Motorsport 3 Game of the Year edition, had all the DLC, and I picked it up. And I just started playing, and I was like, holy crap, this game actually plays really good, because most racing games, like the handling is so bad, right? And I was just so impressed with how this is like a great game. I could really get into it. And from that point on, man, every Forza game I got, collector's edition, all that kind of stuff, even though like Horizon 5 is in Game Pass, I bought it. You know what I mean? Like, and the big edition too, so I could play it early, and because I love those games, man. They're just they're that much fun to me. I still remember when Horizon 1 came out. Maybe the best racing game of all time. I loved how you went through the story in that and you worked your way up. Yeah, you work your way up through the story. That made much more sense to me than, just coming in as the hot shot or whatever, So yeah, like I love those games, man. They're great. I know they're not for everybody though, so that's why I'm always like, not for everybody, but I get excited for it.
Here's what I'm thinking. You know what? Take Forza Horizon 5. Shout out to Capone, who knows me all too well. Get rid of the goddamn festivals. We've had it with the festivals. I don't want any more cotton candy. Keep the balloons. And do me a favor. Bring like a Project Gotham. Bring that kind of game into something like a Forza Horizon and give us things to do. Give us car chases. Give us objectives. Things that are not just like, I don't want to race an airline pilot. I don't want to race a moving locomotive. I've had it. It's enough. It's been the same game 5 times. They have an outstanding engine. The game looks good. It feels good. It plays good. Now make it something that people want to play for more than the week when the eye candy wears off.
There's still a shit ton of people playing right now.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
really.
usually in the top 10 on Xbox or top 12 or whatever. But I think overall, like especially like this DLC that's dropping, that was probably the first time where I ever played racing DLC that I thought was like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That like back in Forza Horizon 3, the Hot Wheels stuff was awesome. I'm so excited that the end there, and you can build your own stuff this time. So like I'm blown away by what they're
The thing that takes away from it a little bit crap this time is that Hot Wheels has their own game out now that's looks great.
They do. I haven't played it. I haven't played it, but I'm not sure like Forza handles good. But like I said, a lot of these other games don't exactly handle
Forza
good,
definitely handles better, I believe, than that Hot Wheels game. But the Hot Wheels thing is out there. People are playing it. So it's like you just had a whole Hot Wheels game dedicated to that come out. And now they're like, hey, look, more Hot Wheels. You're like,
But I remember like the last time this came out, you might not remember, but Mooch, it was the big thing. It was the big moment for Horizon because Horizon had finally broke the I think 90 Metacritic barrier or something, and like they didn't even have a bundle set up for it that holiday. It wasn't until later on that they came out with the bundle with the Hot Wheels track on it and stuff. It was like people really were picking that game out. I think they even announced sales numbers for it.
They did.
Yeah, it was like, and that
first time
how rare is that?
That was revolutionary. I thought it was a great addition. I really did.
Yeah.
That was a great DLC. No, I totally agree with you guys on that. So I'm going to switch subjects here real quick. We kind of hit that one on the head. Persona, I'm going to go to you on this because I'm unaware, and shame on me, but I know that you have the PlayStation Plus premium package, and now it's finally everywhere across the world that has it. Everybody has it that wants it. It's been released everywhere. I think originally it was out. I don't know. Did it release first in Japan? Then it came to the United States, and now it hit the other major markets. I just want to get from somebody who's been using it lately some of the pros and cons. Where are you on this? And then I've got to actually, you know what? Think about that answer for a second. I have completely ignored some of these super chats, so give me 1 second, Persona. Shout out to Monkey Power. He says, Naraka Blade Point is a must try must try if Battle Royales is your kind of game.
I got it downloaded.
Super melee focused. Assassin BR. Can't wait for PlayStation 5 players to experience it also. Shout out to TrueWiddy, Mooch Maniac family member. Appreciate you, TrueWiddy. He says, Forza showed in-engine what? An RT only on PC. We kind of went over that already, TrueWiddy. They're saying it's going to be there in-game, but as slow-mo corrected, it will be there, not in that full 4K, it's going to be like Crap was saying also, 1440p,
exactly
1800p.
Saw in a demonstration.
Right, but the wording and what you see are two different things, so that could be a thing. We'll find out. Like Crap said, there's 8 months till the game comes out. Haida says, Xbox has had the first next-gen only game with the medium. It came out in January. Ratchet came out in June. I mean, that, you want to celebrate the medium. I think you're going to be in a very, very small room with one small piece of cake. So shout out to Haid. I appreciate the super chat.
Bloober team sucks. I'm sorry. Their games have been garbage.
Yeah,
I hate to say it. They're garbage.
Hey, Xbox, I'll give you this about Forza. I know we're kind of past it, but it'll be 4K 60 with ray tracing on one platform.
Oh no! It'll be ray tracing on console.
Looks like Brad.
It'll be 4K 60 with ray tracing on one console.
Go check.
I'm sorry. One platform. Yeah.
I see.
Brad. And that will be on a PC with a 3080 Ti or higher GPU. That's the only platform, the only way you're going to see actual 4K 60 frames per second with ray tracing.
I'm playing the middleman and just telling you exactly what Turn 10 is saying. And
no.
When it comes down to it, they have
a
track record of doing what they say.
Well, just
but they didn't make the hardware. So
no, they didn't make the hardware. And
developing on the hardware.
And by the way, you're only getting a true next gen experience on PlayStation. Let's just so I'll just throw that out there. So.
Well, listen, shout out to you. Hey, Haida, I do have to answer you though.
I mean, where's that 12 teraflop? Monster, first person, not first person, but AAA
nobody
exclusive.
in this podcast was saying that the Xbox. At least I don't know anybody in here that was saying the Series X was going to be like all that over the PS5. I said it was going to be pretty similar. So my conscience is clean right there. I was never one of the ones on them saying it was going to be some huge monster.
We need to see your face doing a shot of chocolate vodka on that one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, look, I told people because if you listen,
you did. I remember
what
you did,
developers said. Developers were like, these are the closest in power to competing an Xbox and PlayStation at the same time launching have had. This is the closest they've been. So why would I believe somebody that's never worked on a console, never worked on a game, right? Like, it's silly to do that. So I told people, I'm
crap.
like rein it in, because I was there. Like the One X was super powerful, but nobody took advantage. No, it's like hardly took advantage of it, and third parties mostly aren't going to take advantage of that stuff anyway. So it was silly to do it. Just play the games and enjoy them. Like that's what I do now. Yeah, like people don't realize that. They're like, crap, you're not super negative anymore or anything. I'm like, no, because I'm enjoying the games, man. I'll hop on PlayStation, I'll hop on Xbox. It don't matter. I'll play it at sometimes I'll double dip stuff, right?
Crap,
like
you gotta hop on PC, man.
Oh no, I can't do that.
That's the one thing. That's where you lose them.
I'm not a PC. I'm not a PC guy.
The thing about it is, though, I think Kn1ght makes a good point. I do want to mention Haida. He did mention that the Medium came out first, but then Josh Ayers in the chat says, Mooch, remember that you have to. The Demon Souls was actually the first only on console, PS5. So I don't know if that's going to go ahead and roll.
Well,
really
they
good
did. Also, Astrobot was PS5 only.
That is right, crap. That is true.
That launched. Like I'm glad that game did good. That's a good platformer.
That really is.
It's great.
Very fun game.
That was a fun game to play right out. Literally, when I say literally out the box. You know what I mean?
It teaches you how to play the game, but it's fun as hell. It's nostalgic because it goes through like the history of PlayStation. It's the perfect. It's a great package. Almost reminds me of Nintendo in a way. Yeah. Like Nintendo Land or a Wii Sports type thing.
They should
pack it
blow
in
that up more and make that more of make that franchise a bigger.
They are. They're supposedly making another Astrobot game. I hope they make a full scale one.
A full scale one, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I loved it on VR, man. I beat that back in the day on PS.
But that's a good idea. I mean, Slow-Mo, you might remember this. The Steam Deck also, Valve made a game to kind of get. I can't remember what it is. Is it Office Desk Space? What is it?
Office Desk Space.
There's a game that was made by Valve. It's free. And it gives you. It's the same thing that PlayStation did with the Astrobot.
Is it Lawnmower Simulator?
It's not Lawnmower Simulator, but it's like Office Simulator. Basically,
essentially, it's a demo for the VR.
Loves that game, by the way.
It's a demo
my
for
stepkids love that game for some reason.
No, my 8-year-old loves that game. He's like, Dad, can I go outside and weed whack? I'm like, why? He's like, I played Lawnmower Simulator. I'm like, okay.
Well, let him mow the lawn, Brap. Absolutely.
I don't get it. They like, what the thing is like the kids like stuff like that and like farming sim, but they hate real chores.
Yeah.
Right?
Really
I'm like, hey, can you clean your rooms a little bit? No, but let me hop on farming sim.
No, but I'll play clean my room simulator. Yeah, they'll do that all day.
For sure.
Shout out to TrueWiddy. He says the dev on the demo said it was in engine, and he said not GD. I wonder if he means I don't know what he means by GD. I apologize, TrueWiddy, if I'm reading that wrong, but I think you mean maybe Digital Foundry is what I think you might have said. Haida comes back. He says PS4 Pro box said 4K until the Xbox One X came out. Then Sony stopped advertising true 4K. Xbox then advertised true 4K. That is the one thing that I've been talking to a lot of people about over the course of the last week. And I'm, again, not rehashing what we just talked about, but both companies were guilty of it. I do know that when both got called out for it a while ago, Sony made a more of a valiant effort to stop doing that, where Xbox still continues to do it here and there. And like Xbox said, that's something that Turn 10 does. I don't necessarily think that that's a good excuse. Just because you do something doesn't mean all of a sudden it's the right thing to do, but it is what they do. Shout out to Magnum Visuals. He says they need to add cartel gateways in Forza Horizon 5. Getaways. Pardon me, cartel getaways. So he wants to see something
nobody's capping. Nobody's
Horizon's
capping
all
for
about, though.
Astrobot.
Like,
by the way, in the chat,
races, running with drugs and stuff like that. That's all like illegal shit. That's not what Horizon is.
Well, no, yeah, I think he just wants something like a
but they
action. No, that's not going to happen. No,
you know what I'm saying? They did illegal street racing basically in the first Horizon,
right?
And that was very mild. There was no chase or anything like that.
Well, they don't have to get into the cartel chases like the super chats ask. I'm just trying to say that it wouldn't be bad if they did something else besides cotton candy and barn runs. But anyway,
well, listen, they added like 5 different. They're totally different festival stops in the 5th one or whatever, which I think that's much better. And then the tours, and you do little things like that, like you take them around. I thought that was different, but also shout out, man, that Shredder's Revenge, surprisingly, such a great game. I've beat that game like 5 or 6 times now.
I beat it last night.
It's so fun, man. I played through it multiple times with different people.
God bless Persona, by the way. Persona got the platinum, and he said, Persona, what'd you say, 34, 35 hours, 38 hours?
One of those trophies is beating Shredder without taking a hit. So yeah, good.
Yeah, did you do that? By the way, after I beat it, I just shut off the system. It was late, but I want to ask Persona when it comes down to that, do you have chapter select after you beat the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you can go through on arcade.
Anything you want.
Okay.
But on the story you can.
Well, where's the trophy pop though? Is it on the story or the arcade?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, all right. Okay. So you can do that, and then you just keep trying. Because let's be honest, crap, you're right. The Shredder achievement / trophy is the most difficult one. But if you played it, the Shredder makes the same movements over and over. And if you play it 3 or 4 times, you probably get the movements down.
I got it down to where it just hit me a few times, but it just seems like damn,
no.
If you don't do it, you start over, or whatever. I don't know,
it's a lot.
It seems like a pain. Yeah, it seems like a pain in the ass.
No, it really is. Shout out to Babor Code3's here. Now we can start the show. He says Destruction All Stars has more content, unlike Halo. Babor, he's so pro Sony. It's great to have the great Babor here.
He's bragging about Destruction All Stars. God damn.
That's when you got a true fan, though, crap.
Yeah. Fan.
Right? You like that?
That's a great point.
The great Persona, I gotta get to you on this because I've never really been big on services. I've even said, myself personally, when my $1 deal runs out on Game Pass, I'm not resubscribing right away. I didn't go any higher on the PS Plus scale. I stayed right at the Essentials, which is the one that we've all had for years and years and years. So Persona, tell maybe from your own experience over the past week and change, how are you feeling with this premium package? Is it everything you wanted it to be? I'm seeing that they're adding even more games. They said 700. They're already at 800 now. Are you enjoying it? Or are you not? Is it something you're going to keep?
Yeah. So when it comes to the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, I buy a lot of my games. So I don't like the PS4 and PS5 stuff. I'm kind of I've got a lot of that stuff already, and whatever I don't have is because it didn't appeal me enough to want to buy it. So I was really there for the PS1, PS2, PSP stuff. And I gotta be honest, man, I downloaded Wild Arms, I downloaded Siphon Filter. Those were the 2 first games I downloaded. I played about an hour or 2 of Siphon Filter. I'm gonna get the platinum in that, and then
How does it play? How does it play? How does it feel?
Siphon Filter, I think it was probably better left as a memory.
Nostalgia's a hell of a drug. I've been saying this for a long time.
It's one of those things where, because we're so used to the double analog, moving the camera with one and moving the person with the other.
Yes.
When I got on Siphon Filter, and I forgot, there wasn't a whole lot of double analog games that were being made back on the PlayStation 1. So you move with the one analog. You move and you up and down and all. I'm just yo. It took me a while to kind of get used to that. But I'm damn, wow. That was a shell shock for me. I was whoa. But when it comes to the old games, I'm gonna be honest, man. The offering is actually, for me personally, it's actually really lackluster. For instance, where is Legend of Dragoon? Excuse me, right? Because people have been begging for that game for years. Begging. begging. And then when you get a service like this, it's like, yo, the possibilities are endless, especially with PlayStation's own catalog. And I'm sure it's probably coming later down the line, but I'm like, I feel like those games should have been there day one. Because those, like the fan, whoever curated the list, like, I'm not trying to play no fucking intelligent cube and all that. I'm not trying to play that, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, the things that people really want, Legend of Dragoons, Legend of Legaia, for me, Chaos Legion, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, like that's the type of stuff that I'm trying to play and experience. And it seems kind of weird that the list that they curated to start when it comes to the super old games, it's not really. I mean, at least for me personally, I wouldn't have curated that outside of like Wild Arms and Ape Escape and Siphon Filter and probably a couple of others. I wouldn't have curated that type of list for me personally. And like, there's a lot of JRPGs missing. There's a lot of games missing in terms of like the PS1, PS2.
So let me say this though, Persona, they're going to continue to add. A lot of people. I saw a lot of people say what you're saying, and Crap and I have been saying this for a long time. People have short-term memory. Okay, when Game Pass first came out, now you see a lot of people in the chat going, "Well, Game Pass is better." When Game Pass first came out, it was a very weak offering in that catalog. Okay, very weak. You've got 800 games. I agree with you. 800 doesn't. It sounds impressive, but maybe it's not that impressive. My point is that do you think that PlayStation should get the same amount of time to kind of get this service up where they want it to be, since they've tried to meld this together, or you think it's too little, too late? They should have done everything that you're saying right from the get-go.
All right, so let me say this. I know there's gonna be people that probably in the chat or listen to this later that's going to run with that. Oh yeah, PS Now Premium's trash. It's not trash. Like like in terms of like the best, it's the best deal in gaming. Shout out to Barry, he says that a lot on Twitter. In terms of what it's offering, for someone that's probably coming to the system or coming to the service, I think they will see a lot there, especially someone that might not buy a lot of games or experience a lot of things. I do think PlayStation, the new service tiers, will be extremely beneficial for someone like that. But for someone like me that buys a lot of games already, I'm really there for the super old stuff to see, to re-experience that stuff. And that stuff isn't there. And I feel like when it comes to PlayStation's own catalog of older titles, I would have expected a lot of those to be ready out the door coming in. Where I'm like, all right, like a lot of that stuff you could have put in there, like, where's SOCOM? Where's Dragon Quest 8? Where's like a lot of this stuff is just not there. And I'm just like, these are the games that people are begging for. And now they might be coming later on. Who knows? Like they actually might be remaking these games or putting out new games. That's why they're not in there, and they want to surprise the gamers. And if that's the case, I'll definitely eat crow on that. But as of the recording of this show, they are not there. And those are the titles that I wanted. So for me personally, it's a cool service. But I was expecting a little bit more in terms of the old school offering.
Well, and I'm glad you said that thing. I appreciate your honesty there, Persona. Alvin in the chat, Alvin, the thing about it though, Alvin, and I'll read it out loud. Alvin says, thing is, Mooch, the games you're talking about will be old games. Game Pass is buffed with new games. Two things, first of all, that I want to kind of bring up here. First of all we ever asked for on Xbox was all these old games. We wanted all these great old games from the OG Xbox, this and that. PlayStation hears that from their fan base too, Alvin. So they are going to fill that up with all of their nostalgic games, all their PS1, PSP, all those games, okay, PS2. They're going to fill those up. The other thing that people need to realize, and that's fine. This is my thought. It's just a thought, guys. Okay, I'm not saying it's concrete, but you can see that they're already throwing a game that's coming out in the next few weeks. Stray is, if you're a premium member, you're going to get that game day and date. My point being is that I do believe that you're going to start to see with the premium package, which is equivalent to, I think it's expensive if you do it monthly, but I think the premium package, if you do it for the year, is $120 for the year. Okay, very similar to Game Pass. And you're going to see games like Stray. You're also going to see some third-party game deals go in there day and date. Maybe, I don't know if they're going to be as big as like an Outriders or something like that. But these systems, these are going to be very similar in that retrospect. The only thing you're not going to get from the PlayStation side as of now is their first party. They're not going to do that right now. But third-party games, they might make some deals and put some smaller games in there day and date. You can see, like I said, you can already see Strays going in there already. So when people go, well, it's not the same as Game Pass. Game Pass has got new games, Mooch. Yeah, but you guys already know this. Go back, just take a second, take a deep breath, and remember the first year and a half Game Pass came out. It really wasn't anything to brag about. It was nothing to brag about.
To the offerings,
the offerings, but I'm saying, Persona, I think the offerings will go.
PlayStation and Xbox is like if we're comparing the service for service. I mean, yeah, Xbox Game Pass may edge it out because of the whole day and date thing, but they really, at least in my opinion, they haven't really offered anything substantial that really is really worth writing home about yet. Yeah. Right? But when we're talking, pound for pound, I mean, PS Plus, the new service, it has over 800 games. PS5, PS4, like all of the generations. You got Miles Morales, which now that the whole service is available across the world, Miles Morales is the most played game on there right now, which isn't really surprising. But Miles Morales, Returnal, Demon's Souls, all that stuff is on there, and those are banger system-selling blockbuster titles. So you see where I'm going with this.
I see where you're going with this, man, and I'm trying to make some sense. Shout out to Wobzilla who's here. He says PS Plus Premium has Returnal, Demon's Souls, and Spider-Man, Miles Morales, all first-party games. So you have player in the chat. I don't like what you said. I don't agree with it. He goes Stray for $15 a month. My rebuttal to him was The Medium for $15 a month. That's not the case here. There are first-party games in there. The only difference is
just hyping up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What the fuck going on
here,
man?
I know. And don't get me wrong. I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but nostalgia is a hell of a drug. That's a game we played in 1995 in the arcades, okay? So, this is not necessarily something that you really want to write home about. I think that both of these are going to have a great offering. I think PS Plus is going to start getting those like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of the world are going to fall in both of these services, or that type of game. I think those will fall in their day and date. I think the only difference that's going to separate these is the day and date first party. And I got to say, if you look at it, guys, you have to be careful. If you're a big Xbox fan, you do have to look at it this way. You have 800 games that are in PS Plus Premium right now. Okay, 800 games. And they have some nostalgic games back there. Whether you want to play them or not, you guys know my whole thing. I don't really want to play a lot of PS1 games. I'm not upgrading to it. But you can't really say that it doesn't have value. If people like to play those types of games, there's value there for somebody. Go ahead. I don't know who's going to speak, Persona or somebody who's going to take the mic.
Well, when it comes to PlayStation Plus, first thing, something they did was absolute genius, right? When they thought about putting these two services together, the lowest tier is the one that people need to be online playing multiplayer,
right?
When it comes down to it,
right? $60 a year.
It's really going to be hard to judge how unless they say per stage, you know what I'm saying, per premium or whatnot. It's really going to be hard to gauge the actual people coming in and using that service, because you're padded at the bottom with everybody who just wants to play the multiplayer. In terms of Mooch, you asking if they should have time, that depends on how dedicated PlayStation and Sony are.
I agree
to this service.
Yes,
all right,
100%.
Xbox was absolutely dedicated.
They were dedicated, but Xbox again. I just want you to take a breath there and say it took them a while.
Well, but that they were the first ones doing it in this space, and
no, they weren't.
No, they were not.
No, they weren't. PlayStation actually did do it first, technically.
All of it.
Right.
And when it comes to PlayStation, when it comes to that dedication, PlayStation has created a dedicated preservation team for this obviously for game preservation. I think what goes into that is keeping the upkeep of a lot of these games. So it just got made, so we need to see what comes of that in the months and years to come. But I think they are heading in the right direction with the preservation team. We just need to see what comes of that.
See, I know PlayStation did PS Plus first. I'm talking about the direction in which the subscription service is going. Like when it came down to it, it wasn't just preservation, old games and stuff like that. They said, hey, when it comes down to it, day and date. Sea of Thieves was in there day and date when it dropped, and they were building it up from there. But when they first started, they had to find a way to get to the third party as well, so that when they first started, that's why you got indies, you got the back compact,
and I think that's what you mean by that. That's something that PlayStation's going to work on, right? That's PlayStation's going to work on that, I believe.
It depends on if that's what they.
Are you referring to PlayStation with that, or you were referring with?
He's referring to Xbox.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because PlayStation had a lot of when the service first came out, they had a lot of AAA games from from PS3 and
right.
PS4
No,
games going into
and I don't want to speak for Xbox. He means day and date third party.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Mooch, I gotta run.
Yeah. By the way, guys, and Xbox, keep that thought because I do want to continue this conversation. Shout out to the great Slow-Mo backs up. Slow-Mo, shout out to you and as well as the great Gaming Forte. You guys are doing a DPS tonight at 9:00 with Erica, and I believe it's
Shar. Shar from the backlog.
Shar, yeah. So shout out to Shar and Erica. Guys, have a great show. Slow-Mo, thanks for being here tonight. Let people know a little bit more about the show.
Yeah, DPS podcast, Damage Per Second podcast. It's going to be on Gaming Forte's channel starting at pretty much right when Crossfire is ending. But I got jump in there and make sure that Forte has crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's. Matter of fact, just to make sure that he actually spelled the topics correctly on the screen. So I gotta make sure the bro's good. But guys, have a great show. It has been a great show.
Thank you,
and
Slow-Mo.
talk to everyone later. Peace.
I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you. Go ahead, Xbot. I wanted to let you finish your thought.
No, but I said like when they came out with Game Pass, they had a different direction that they wanted to go. So when I said the first, I meant the first to build up to go day and day and really kind of put everything into their service, their subscription service, and you've seen it grow from there. Now, what Sony and PlayStation want to do, I feel like it's only a matter of time before they do day and date on this service. Now, people will tell me I'm wrong. People on the panel will tell me I'm wrong.
They have explicitly said they are not doing that a number of times.
They have done 180 on as well, bro. Like, let's be real.
I just don't think you're going to see it anytime soon.
The more and more that the revenue comes in and stuff like that, the more and more that that the whole subscription service within gaming and the console space grows, it's going to be more and more tempting to do so.
PlayStation is not having an issue selling their games. That's not happening.
Yeah, but guess what? There's no company.
It really does come down to that. I know everyone likes to make all these other if fans, but this is the future.
Corporation that says, you know what? I'm making $10 billion a year. I'm fine with that. We'll just keep everything the way it is.
Yes, but they're making the service money. This is the thing, though. They're making the service money. And they're still selling 10 to 20 million on their exclusives.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
Come on, man.
That's really what it comes down until that number drops, that exclusive number drops, first party day and day. That's when the conversation changes to what you're saying, Xbot.
What I think they'll do is again, and I've said this a number of times, you'll start to see more games go to PC quicker.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's what I
12,
think.
24, 36 months. It'll be in that window. And it depends on the title. It's title by title. It's not, you can't just say it's one game is going to, they're all going. Again, that's the one thing that's funny on the internet, though, Persona. They're always like, it's going to be there. Hey, 1 month it'll be there. No, it won't be a month.
It'll be, depending on the game, it'll be,
all of them going.
8 months, 12 months.
They're going to go in a year.
They're definitely going to.
A year's the least.
All of them. They're gonna have their own. They're gonna have their own store.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they are.
They're gonna put trophies on PC.
Yep, absolutely.
They're gonna. It wouldn't even surprise me if other games, not just Bungie ones, but if other service games they put them on Xbox. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. We know the Bungie ones will be on Xbox, but I'm saying other ones outside of that because you're gonna want some kind of player base to be there, right? Just like Call of Duty, Overwatch, those games are gonna stay on PlayStation.
They don't need the Xbox user base on that though. Crap, they don't. They have
PC. I don't know.
Again,
PC game,
if they can get more money,
there's 70 gazillion. There's 70 gazillion people on PC. They need the people on Xbox.
You're thinking of it. You're thinking of it the wrong way.
The Bungie games 100% will be right. They've already.
So will the Activision games. The Activision games will stay on PlayStation.
Well, the popular ones, but
the only ones that matter.
The popular ones.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, anything new can be exclusive to Xbox.
Well, listen, you guys always say, don't ever say never, stuff like that. Listen, Bungie can also make an exclusive. They said what they said, but they can go. If you're saying everything else can go, wait, you guys are saying that the things that PlayStation said, you're saying they could change their mind. Well, so can they.
I'm reiterating what Microsoft said.
And Persona's reiterating that PlayStation said they have no intent of putting their games day and date. And still we hear every week, well, you never know.
Well, no, because if you look at it, people have kind of already backtracked on that a little bit because they didn't specify we'll never go day and date with single player or with this. They said they'll never go day and date.
Here we go.
But we all know.
He's making a point.
Am I wrong?
Making a point. No,
am I wrong? But everybody's quick to go, oh well, of course the service games will be PC day one. That makes sense.
Listen,
of course,
PlayStation,
but they never said
but a service
Sony,
game does
Sony
need
never
more player
said,
base.
I get that, but they never did say. I'm just saying they never said and specified. Oh, our single players will never go. They said nope. Well, no games will go day and date. We have a setup of 2 years.
Do you think?
But we know that that's not going to be the case.
The executives sat in their office and they were like, "Let's make sure we get every single dotted I and cross T for CrossFire. Make sure that they understand everything." Like that's not what it. I mean, listen, there's common sense. Common sense has to come into play here at some point.
Don't shoot them. I'm just bringing up what they're doing, what they've said.
But then when
PlayStation has said that when it comes to their games, putting their games into a service day and date messes up the quality, interrupts the quality.
And it makes sense for them to say that because they know that the fans.
Can I finish, man?
Go ahead.
Relax. When it comes to that, they said that they're the kind of caliber of games that they make. It does not seem feasible to put games into a service. Now, that does not mean that they cannot follow the movie method where the game is out for 6 months or so and then it hits the service after. I could see something like that being more feasible, but a day and date into a service would both eat into their profits and eat the quality. When it comes to games going to PC, I think that is the route that PlayStation is going to go when it comes to their games, where they would put them on PC before they would put their games into a service day and date.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's what we're seeing happen
100%.
before our eyes.
You could see
more games are going, and they're going to continue to go. And I think majority, if not all of those live service games are going to be day and date on PC, and the single player games are going to go 6 months, 8 months, a year and a half from its initial release.
Yeah, that's basically that's for the foreseeable future, anyways. I mean, can you speak about 25 years from now?
I mean,
no, but
what Crap said about games going to PC is absolutely correct. They never specified any difference. They said their games, and you're saying their service games will go to PC.
They haven't made any service games.
But I also point out that they could. I mean, Destruction All Stars is they consider that a first party. They own the IP. They put that day one into. I could see them doing that with some of their other games as well. I think that I don't think I might be the only one. I don't know. Like sometimes I don't like these companies pander. Microsoft panders, Sony's pander. When Sony says we can't afford to do this, they're multi-billion dollar company. They sure as hell could. They could afford to do anything they want, and it's not going to hurt the quality. Why would it hurt the quality? You can't have you can't expect to have a service and put low quality in there. How would it? So you would have to have great quality to get people to subscribe.
Game Pass is hemorrhaging money.
It's not.
It is. We've had Jeff Grubb on here. Everybody said that they can afford to lose this money right now. They can't do that at PlayStation.
Y'all have to stop.
I can find you articles where Phil Spencer says.
You gotta stop comparing Microsoft. Why does everybody compare Microsoft to Sony though? It's not the same company.
Can I finish?
Sure.
They're pandering when they say they can't afford to do it because they know their fans will freak out, and that's good for them because they would. Yes, they would.
No, they're not. They'll buy the games if they want to play them. They'll buy the games or they'll get the service.
And for right now, they would rather make that money up front.
Five Guys isn't McDonald's. You got to stop comparing these two. One can hemorrhage money. One's trillion. One's billion. It's a T and a B.
Next time you get Jeff Grubb in here, get him to talk about their profit margin.
He said the reason Microsoft's doing what they do is because they can afford to play the long game and lose money. Well, Sony can't.
But you get them to talk about why they're doing so much live service, Sony now, because their profit margin, no matter how much they're selling, isn't very high.
Well, no, that's not entirely true. That's not entirely true.
15%. Jeff Grubb said he talked to multiple Sony employees that their profit margin is like 15% for a big game that sells extremely well for them, a single player, whereas a service game is infinite. That's why they're putting so many eggs in that basket.
Well, the profit margins at 50% is really good, healthy per se. But the reason why, and the reason why they're going to do the live service game, the infinite, revenue. Because it makes sense for them to do it because there's a market for it. It's Sony's smart. Jim Ryan wants the money. They're not going to miss out on that. But I also don't, like this thing, like this conversation back and forth with what Microsoft is doing, what Sony's doing, like there are two different companies in two different positions right now, right? Like they like Sony is the market leader in the console space. Sony also recognizes that they have valuable IP and they have a brand that they can potentially make more money putting games as a service, games on PC, They can put games on mobile devices under the Sony brand, PlayStation brand that can make money. So they're going to take advantage of that. So, it's just, they're just in different.
It's different. It's not the same. Yeah. It's not the same thing. It's not apples to apples.
Yeah. It's not. And just because Microsoft does it doesn't mean that it's right for Sony. It doesn't mean that we should expect that Sony should do what Microsoft is doing either.
Sony, because Sony's selling their games, right? They're not doing day and date service, and we can see that that doesn't work for Microsoft. That's why Mooch, service.
This is no different from like any other consumer product. We have tiers in consumer products, right? We have luxury products. We have products that are like a big shout out to King David, who always talks about TCL TVs, but we have high end TVs, right? Like the what's it called? The LG OLEDs, right?
Yeah.
And so Sony is kind of like in my opinion, they're the Louis Vuitton of gaming, right? And so they're going to position themselves as that and do what they need to do to market that brand as such. And it just is what it is.
I don't think. That's why
Nintendo's doing things differently,
they both make games, but there's different types of people that make burgers. There's different types of people that make sneakers.
Yeah,
but look at it. They don't follow each other's exact. No,
look at it. Is Nintendo following what Sony and Microsoft do? No,
that's the best example. That's the best example.
And Nintendo is dominating right now, right?
Both of them.
Nintendo in Japan, because I've heard people talk about how Xbox is, outselling PlayStation Japan, which is laughable. But I mean, Nintendo controls 87% of the market share in Japan right now. Why? Because of content and because of
content's king.
Yeah, well, because Japan's mobile, but
while they are different,
they're all different. So I mean,
I agree that they're different, but there's also like a situation where you can see that Sony is following some of the tracks laid out by Microsoft, which is
Well, I would disagree with that crap. I would disagree.
Wait. Like what? Name
like
it.
putting stuff on PC, and they rebranded
PS2, sir.
But they haven't been doing it the way that they are doing it now.
It does not matter. They have been doing that since PlayStation 2. What's next?
You're talking about what? Tell me games they did it on the PlayStation 2 from their first party that they put on there.
They had an entire division with SIE before they sold it off, and it became Daybreak that was making games for PC.
Yeah, but they were making games for PC. They weren't porting their. They weren't porting. It does matter.
It does not matter.
How does that not matter?
What's next? What's next?
They're putting games. They're putting their console exclusives on PC, just like Microsoft.
You only name one thing. I need more. What's next?
So they're doing that. They're also went into a relationship with Microsoft to stream games.
That's
which they're going to be.
That's because
to stream games.
No.
There's also
correct that. No, hold on. Let me correct that. Microsoft, PlayStation went into a partnership with Microsoft for its Azure service because Microsoft is one of the leaders when it comes to cloud infrastructure and cloud computing. And PlayStation and Sony does not have a hand in that market. So that
putting a heavier focus on live.
That was a strategic business decision to up the service and up the ability and server capacity for PlayStation for what they were trying to do with their services. What's next?
So they're not ever going to stream games to a phone.
What's next? They were doing that before.
They're not going to stream. They're not going to stream anything to a phone.
Crap. They were streaming before though. Like
they had Gaikai. They had the Gaikai thing.
They had Gaikai.
And they stopped.
But it doesn't matter if they stopped. They still did it though.
The whole reason that they repackaged PlayStation Plus was to compete better with Game Pass, right?
Crap, you only named two things and I debunked both. What's next?
You didn't debunk shit.
Yes, I did.
It's because you said you debunked
crap. Chocolate vodka, man. Come on.
Yeah, you debunked nothing, my guy. You made some excuses for $1 billion.
No, he didn't. Crap. He didn't make excuses, man. Come on, man.
Sony lived and died by their exclusives. Everybody hyped up. No, going to PC. Blah blah blah. They're going to PC like Xbox. They're going to start streaming stuff like Xbox. They're also they repurposed. They also repurposed. They also repurposed. They're also investing to bring backwards compatibility back. When they said who would want that, who would play that, right? They're not copying Xbox there either, right?
Panel and chat. Let the record show that Crap only named two things, and they have been
two things. They're putting games on PC. They're focusing on live games. They're investing in backwards compatibility. like Microsoft. Come on, they're gonna invest in streaming.
Oh boy, here you go.
But crap, everything you're saying,
No,
he said that Sony was doing it first.
Jim Ryan said that they would have an answer to Game Pass. They restructured.
It's called PlayStation Plus Premium.
PlayStation Now. They did it to go against Game Pass. Wait.
A lot of that, guys. You have to remember, a lot of that is like shareholder talk, right?
Oh, shareholder talk is great.
No, but it is. I mean, you can laugh all you want, but that's exactly what it is.
In the interview, don't worry.
Yes, exactly. It's shareholder
answer for Game Pass. So, but it's not competing with Game Pass. They're not looking over at Xbox.
No, it's not because
it's not. Hey, but let me ask you something. Like you guys talk a lot about, like, you guys are laughing about, it's not a competitor, but
not you guys. I'm laughing.
No, you're laughing, but why aren't you laughing for a game that takes advantage of the 12 teraflop monster, right?
I saw that with Forza.
That's the thing. That's where the quality comes in.
But that's a racing game, dude. But
and I'm a racing gamer.
It's 2 years now.
Okay, besides that, Xbox. Okay, besides that, where is that game? Where is that game? Right? Where is that game that lives up to the marketing hype that Microsoft put up themselves? It eats monsters. It's the most powerful, gaming console ever.
We haven't seen the game.
Wait, Xbox. They used to back that up with games. Look at the OG Xbox. Look at the Xbox 360. They had games that backed up the mantra, the marketing of the console, the hardware that spoke to the hardware. They don't have that right now, and they haven't had it for 3 years now. That's not good. That's bad.
I think nobody's making excuses for that, but I do think the fact that they're buying all these studios, and the wait is there, and that sucks. But I think that we're gonna.
Why are we waiting though?
Because I think it takes time, and we hit a pandemic. Unfortunately,
crap. No, but there's games that have come out.
Pandemic, man, cut that out.
Well, listen. Like I've said multiple times, the big 3 games that come out for Sony's first party this year were supposed to come out last year.
Yeah,
but but there's still games that are coming though. That's the point.
Yeah, but so Microsoft has 14 announced games.
No, but there's still games
now.
coming this year.
What first party is coming out?
They're PlayStation. They're PlayStation 5
last year.
They're PlayStation 5 console exclusives.
Last year too.
That released
party.
in the pandemic. Come on.
But here's the thing. Wait.
Last year was a very weak year for PlayStation. They released remasters.
Well, wait. So I can answer your question. Wait.
Stop. Xbox had.
Stop. Wait.
Actually, Xbox had a better year last year.
Oh, cut it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the internet just broke.
No, Xbox had to definitely. They definitely, like, if you
the year last year?
they did not only that, but Xbox, I think their first party released a game a month. Released a game a month to close out the year last year. Sony released Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, and then remasters.
I literally just played a cross-gen game. Just beat a cross-gen game on PlayStation that looks better than. This is a cross-gen game that looks better than anything that Xbox has put out this generation.
Funny.
Why?
You funny crap.
What did I say that was wrong though? Listen.
Yo, you funny. No,
they released. Listen to what I'm saying. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Crap, I'm gonna throw you a bone. I'll give you Forza. Forza always releases, in a good state. It's a dope game. It gets a lot of people. I'll throw you that bone. That Halo Infinite, absolutely not.
It's my opinion.
When it comes to and we talk about the last 2 or 3 months of the year as opposed to the entire year.
Listen, I said their first party released quality titles.
Year for year, PlayStation in 2020 curb stomped because they had Last of Us 2.
We're talking 2021.
And they had all that, and then 2021 was even worse. 2021 was fire because we had Returnal, we had Kn1ght, we had
That's not a first party.
Kn1ght, it ain't on no other platform.
It doesn't matter. It's not a first party. I mean, those games that'll end up everywhere.
Ratchet and Clank.
So if we're comparing first parties, you can pretty much compare Returnal, which they didn't actually buy that studio until after it released, but I'll count it. Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, and then they released remasters at the end of the year. That was it for the first party, right? That was it.
You're talking about from PlayStation or Xbox?
Yeah, that was from the first party. That was for the first party for PlayStation last year was Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, and remasters towards the end of the year. That was it. This year, they released the big 3 that they're releasing. That's not a remaster or a remake. Were supposed to come out last year.
You just got Horizon and Halo.
Yes, no, they
Halo,
released Psychonauts 2. They released
Abysmal.
They released Flight Sim. They released 5 games in 5 months. Got Publisher of the Year, an average of 85 on Metacritic last year.
All right, clap. You got it.
Thank you.
It really is just
you don't got it, but
I can't agree with you there, Crap.
At the end of the day, Crap.
In the name of the time in this podcast,
I'm not going to count Tunic as an Xbox game because it wasn't out on PlayStation at the time because we're talking first party.
Psychonauts was also a PlayStation 2.
It was, but it's a first party game and it was well received.
I
said they're first party.
I don't know. That's a stretch. That's a
when
reach.
it comes down to Crap, when you have a console, it
is what it is. Listen, they've dropped the ball this year. They've dropped the ball this year for sure. But if Sony would have released those games on time last year,
I've got kids Persona.
What would they have released?
No.
Respect my time. I got a
wife
and
kids.
kids.
For Sony to just delay games, but not Microsoft. Got it.
Delay games.
No, whoa.
That's
Crap. No, you gotta put some context in that.
Hold
on, wait. Let's also say.
Can I read this comment real quick?
Where's the new? You can read it, but Crap. Where's the new AAA game this generation? $500, 2 years, nothing brand new. So you can give all the stats you want.
I can tell you right now.
Where are they?
They were under obligation to release games as either multiplat or as a PlayStation exclusive for a year.
Crap! They bought studios in 2018.
They did, and look. Tell me what studios they bought in 2018.
Dude, come on! They can't put. Why is Sony putting out games that take advantage of?
But Sony has delayed.
Kojima got a game out.
Kojima got a game out.
Sony has delayed almost every game.
Crap! You have Horizon Forbidden West,
and it was
Looks
delayed.
better. It's still released. Looks better than anything that Series X has. Come on. Why is this okay?
I think it looks fine, but I don't think enough people, I'm not one of those people that's going to try and be negative on it, but that game was janky as hell. I'm still not through it.
That's not the point, though. It's not the point whether it's janky. The point is that it looks.
Gameplay isn't there.
The point that it takes advantage. No, the point is it takes advantage of.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, the game. There's more to it than the looks because I feel like
if you think Horizon
they incorporate DualSense and 3D audio.
Hold on. Crap. If you think Horizon's janky, just wait till Starfield comes out.
Hey, I'm waiting to see it.
Just wait. That's going to be
that's slander, sir. That's slander.
Well, I'm just saying, Bethesda games are always janky at launch, and everyone's that's what they do.
Well, Mooch, I will say this.
Can I read this?
Yeah, go ahead, Persona. I got a few to read. I'm way behind.
Hey, yo, shout out to Death Proof in the chat, man. So I count about 3 people who don't bring them back to the show. Death Proof says, Persona, I never met somebody who loves themselves so much. I love myself very much, man. It's important that you love yourself because, if you don't love yourself, nobody else will.
Who's gonna love you?
You want me to hate myself? Like what? I love myself, man. What the hell? Exactly. Xbox confidence. Listen, chat,
right? Yeah.
Don't take our passion. This is all passion talking. This isn't at the end of the day. No one from this show is walking away hating each other. Okay? Listen, this is all just passion.
It's passion, baby. I got a lot of.
Hey, I love Crap Gamer. We're having beers later on tonight.
You're doing chocolate vodka. Is what you guys are doing.
Use that keyword. I think got fired from being a surgeon or doctor or whatnot. So I chill with that, bro.
Well, hold on a second. I got TrueWiddy here. He says, "Why can't Forza have?" He puts NOS. Is that an abbreviation for something? It's an arcade game. So I don't know what he means by NOS.
I think he means nitrous oxide is like a speed boost.
Boost. Yeah, I guess you could have boost in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
TrueWiddy comes he says,
Fast and the Furious.
I appreciate that crap. I never would have got that.
One add-on.
They had it in the Fast and the Furious add-on. It was pretty fun, actually. It was free. They gave that away on 360 and Xbox One. Man, I downloaded it, played it on both. Easy 1000 and gamer score on both. I don't even think you can download it anymore. But I still own it. I have it downloaded still.
Yeah, if you have it, you have it.
Why you getting washed in his turtles, man? I watched you die like 6 times, bro.
Listen, man, I'm playing with the kids, man. Give me a break, will you?
Excuses. Hey, tell your kids to step their game up, Mooch. Come on, man.
I was just having a good time. I was talking the whole time on the phone. Listen, I'm doing my thing, Persona.
Hey, have a couple of whiskeys, Mooch.
Mooch, did you realize that you could?
I got a wife and kids.
Got a wife and kids.
Mooch, how long did it take you to realize that you could pick each other up if they were down?
We actually, I did that. It was the end of the first level or the beginning of the second, but I didn't know at first. I didn't know.
Continue. Yeah, at first I'm like, why is it saying 10, 9? I'm like, I'm pushing buttons. It won't let you do anything, right? It took me a while to figure out. No, in all
honesty, like you'll see. Well, to answer Persona's question, though, I do give as this continues. This is the first time I was playing it, so I was just playing it through. I didn't even know about the combos. I'm just walking through, just hitting the X button. Then I finally started hitting the dual button. You'll see as I get going, I have more of my combos.
You'll accrue the special moves and stuff. I thought that was really slick.
That is pretty cool. No, it was good, but Persona's right. I was getting washed in the beginning of this for sure.
Hey, Mooch, you know what's crazy? Like this elevator scene that I'm watching. I mean, this is like my a childhood. Like this is part of your childhood too, Mooch.
Absolutely, it was.
It just the great thing about like Turtles, it took that design, I guess, element from Double Dragon, right?
Double Dragon, yeah, and they sped it up a little bit, right? They sped it up, and well, then this game put combos in it. When you put the original Ninja Turtles,
there was combos, and
it's so slick, man. I'm a little bit worried to go back and play the old ones when the collection comes out.
You won't even want it.
Yeah, because I mean, listen, that first Konami game where you're underwater and the electricity and stuff, like I beat that game back when I was a kid. I'm anxious to see if I can get through it as an adult. It's like that.
Turtles in Time must get played. That's one of my favorite Turtles.
I'm gonna play them all, but
are they redoing anything with it or no?
They're not really going to redo it. I don't think. Yeah,
they'll probably clean up the controls and make it 60 frames and all that stuff for sure. But
okay. I got a lot of super chats here, guys. Hold on a second. TrueWiddy's here. He says, by the way, deliver us the moon day one on PlayStation Extra. So that's another game. I think maybe going to. Is that also going to Game Pass? I believe. I'm not sure, TrueWiddy. Is it not? It's not.
I don't know. I'm just saying that to piss people off.
Okay. Shout out to X Abbott. He says, my issue with PlayStation Plus getting Stray, PS Plus would have got that before this change. PS Plus is going to get worse, I think, which sucks. The jury's out on that, X Abbott. I'll be paying close attention to that. So far, it hasn't seemed to affect it, but we'll see what's going on.
That's an interesting point, though.
It is an interesting point.
Yeah, he does make a point. Like, if this was just regular PS Plus, Stray would have just came to PS Plus.
PS Plus.
$60. So I get that.
But I will say this much. So the reason I say the jury's out in Persona, the reason I'll answer that is it may be that the PS Plus owners like me who didn't upgrade, maybe I'll get Stray in 2 months, 3 months. I might get it down the road. I won't get it day one like the people who paid more. That may be another case. I don't know what they're going to do. We have to wait at least 6 months, see what happens. But X Abbott, great point. DC Gaming says, another great show, great panel. Thank you, DC. I appreciate that. Alvin says, sup, Mooch. Just to clarify, I have PlayStation Premium and GPU and love both. Game Pass Ultimate, pardon me. Just hoping for more Stray editions, not just PS1 editions coming soon. Agreed, Alvin. That's what I'm saying. I think you're going to see more third-party games coming day and date into the premium package. I don't think PS Plus Essentials will get it. Mike, who does not agree with me, he says, Game Pass is not hemorrhaging money. Otherwise, we would see Xbox get shut down like Mixer. Microsoft is not stupid. What? Can we just get over that? You don't become a $2 trillion company by practicing bad business. Mike, may I mention Mixer, Groove Music, Windows Phone, it goes on and on. The thing about it is, and Crap has said this too, a bunch of us have said this on the show. At this point, Xbox is now Xbox Game Pass. That is Xbox right now, Mike. So they're not going to just shut it down. They just they're spending $100 billion as we speak. They're not going to shut it down.
But the Xbox division is not the moneymaker for Microsoft. It's the OS and it's the cloud infrastructure and services and stuff like that.
Azure and all that. Yeah,
that's what put them at that 2.5 trillion market cap valuation.
Yeah. Yes. So, Mike, that's. I know where you're trying to go with that, but that's not. Shout out to Mike. Absolutely, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Mike. Shout out to WoolleyGamer. He goes, not first party, semantics. Crap. Shake my head. Mike comes back. He says Xbox had 5 studios 4 years ago. These games don't come overnight. Mike, listen. Kojima was in one of the biggest fights when he left Konami. Leaves the place, assembles a team, and makes a game in 3 years. So, Mike, I got to tell you, I'm not a game developer.
It's easy to discount the pandemic, though, right? Like Kojima wasn't dealing with that.
No one's discounting it, but there's been games coming out ever since the pandemic.
Yes, but Mooch,
but you have to look at the competition. Crap.
Almost every game that has released has been delayed or was in a poor state.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with delays, but we're talking about 2 years now. Lots of companies. These people have thousands of developers, right? Bethesda's how many people work for ZeniMax? Right? It's like, come on. It's like, it is what it is. I know that two games were PlayStation. They made deals. I get it. I get that. That was something that happened before Microsoft got involved. But there's still a lot of people there. Everyone's like, well, the coalition has 8 teams working on 8 different games. Well, then when Microsoft bought them, they should have said to Arcane, dude, split up and make a game. I don't know. That's not my world.
Arcane was making multiple games, but the thing is this, right? Like there was an article in like Game Industry Biz where they were interviewing different developers, and it was pretty much like I said, which was depending on where you were at in the development of your game, it was gonna be easier to finish a game than start something new remotely.
Well, I get that,
right? Yeah. Like I mean, like, and I think that's part of the problem. Like people, and I get it because Microsoft dropped the ball those 2 years there. They didn't release a AAA. I was harder than anybody on them.
Console with no game.
I was harder on them. I was harder on them than anybody. But I'm not going to hold them. I'm not going to hold it over their head for something for years ago. Right now, I'm excited about the future of what they're doing.
Crap! Why not hold it? They haven't delivered yet.
Nah, crap. Slow it
they haven't delivered yet.
Well, it's hard to deliver when you have.
That sounds like fantasy football.
Crap, we're going into the 7th month of 2022 with no games from Xbox. Cut it out.
Nobody's discounting this year. When have I said made any excuses for it? I said that it's unfortunate, but I would rather a delayed game than a bad one. Is that wrong?
Yo, crap, you did not just use that line. Come on, crap.
I would rather a delayed game because Persona, what's going to happen if they would have released Starfield or Redfall and they scored poorly? You would be up here saying typical Xbox low quality game fodder, game pass fodder. Right? You would. And then they're in a rock and hard place. So what are they going to do? So what are they going to do?
But crap, that's part of the problem. They don't if they did release that, right? And it bombed, they don't have anything else in the release pipeline to kind of blunt that blow. That's the problem.
Well, they're not buying third-party stuff, that's for sure. I mean, one could make an argument that maybe they should go the PlayStation route and do that. And I'm not saying
but shouldn't they? I mean, they're the $1 trillion company. They have Game Pass
they probably weren't expecting.
Why are you making all these excuses for a $2 trillion company when?
What excuse have I made? I said there was a pandemic and they had to delay games.
And
I don't want a cyberpunk situation.
Yeah, you know who else was dealing with the pandemic?
Because who?
Nintendo.
Yeah, and they delayed 3 games from last year into this year, and Microsoft delayed 3 games from this year into next year. See,
yes, but there was nothing else to pivot to.
Congratulations, Sony learned from their mistakes with the PS4. I'm glad that they did that.
What mistakes?
Right? You want to be in a better position than launching with a knack and a Killzone. I understand that. Bravo to them for doing that. I'm not saying anything bad against them. I'm saying Microsoft should be afforded to delay their games just like Sony did this year or last year.
No, I don't agree with that. No.
We're going into the 3rd year of.
Why can't they delay their games? I don't understand.
Because they have. The point that I'm trying to make is we're going into the 3rd year of this console generation of that same excuse being made when the competition has been delivering of those.
But we can't say 3rd year because didn't they release? I mean, you might not like it, but they released Forza and Halo to end last year. You could say, we've gone 6 months, and there might not be much. Yeah. So you could say for the last 6 months they haven't released anything, which is true enough. But from the point of their, hold on, Brett. Just from the point of their showcase, from that point on, in the next 12 months, they plan on releasing 3 major AAAs.
What's the dates for those?
We don't know, but we know they're going to be within the next 12 months from their showcase.
But crap, when you...
Well, they've already, I mean, in particular, Bethesda put on in bold print, first part of 2023. So, I mean, I mean, it could, but, again, anything could change, right? Like, personally, I don't count these games in my hand until I have them and I'm playing them, right? Like that goes for everybody because everything's been delayed so much.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's just how it is. Even God of War, I think it's going to come this year. I'm hopeful, but until I'm actually playing that thing, I don't know.
We really look at it. The only successful release. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna shut up so you can talk. The only successful release from at Microsoft has been Horizon. Halo was a disaster. So really, when we're looking at from 2020, which is the launch of the next-gen consoles, to now, Microsoft has only released one game successfully. Versus Nintendo releasing, 10 or however many, and PlayStation releasing the number that it released, especially at the launch of the PlayStation 5 during a pandemic. There is no, yes, the pandemic, this, that, yes, 100%, but there is no excuse going into year
Not
3.
just that, but it's like what we said earlier. Now that
it's real, it's a real issue, but there's no excuse.
Say it again. What you say, crap? I missed that.
You said the pandemic's real and it was an issue for developers, but that there's no excuse.
No. The pandemic is real and it's an issue for developers, but at the end of the day, we're paying customers. So
I get it, but I ain't. I don't want a cyberpunk situation.
I gotta be honest with you. Like when I hear like the thing with Microsoft and the pandemic, if there's any company right that can overcome the pandemic, it's Microsoft. And I say that like from the standpoint of they think about Windows, right? Think about Office. Think about cloud. They run most of the enterprise software in the world right now, right? I mean, it's a hard pill for me to swallow and say, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Microsoft Studios, pandemic. No, well, it's Microsoft. Like they are the like the leader in terms of enterprise software, cloud development, all this other stuff, right? Are you telling me they couldn't devise or put together a plan where the developers could release content?
I think it depends.
Hold on.
I hear what you're saying.
But let me just finish. The other issue I have too is we're going on to a second generation.
Pull King down. He's in the waiting room.
Oh, is he there? There he is.
Yeah. We have a situation where we're into a second generation where Microsoft themselves has said, you know what? We have the most powerful console. And they haven't showed a game that speaks to that. And to me, that's a problem. Like,
well, I think like Hellblade 2 speaks to that. I also think that Forza Motorsport speaks to that.
Okay, crap. I understand that. But the problem is that the competition has spoke to that already. And historically, your platform has spoke to that year 1, year 2 into the generation. And here we are, year 3 going now. And we haven't seen that yet.
So, Brap, I don't want to interrupt this after now. King, can you speak? Can you hear us? Because King Thrash was on the show. But King, if you're listening to the show right now, last time you were on the show, you had to do something on your phone. You figured it out. I don't know why, but it keeps booting you out of the CrossFire booth. So whatever you did on your phone, I know you must be on your phone because if you're on your PC, it works. Shout out to King. I'm trying to get King in here, but for some reason,
I think like especially for like. Okay, so like I'll give you a good example. Like with Ninja Theory, their British studio, they had way worse lockdowns than a lot of other places. So they needed to travel, and a lot of travel was banned. They're trying to like capture, and they're only just now doing that stuff, right? Like capturing like locations. They're scout. You can look on their Twitter. They're just now like visiting these places where the travel bans have been listed. It really is unfortunate. Fable was just starting production, literally just starting production as the pandemic hit, and they're a British studio too. So lockdown, and it's very difficult to make, what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things there. I also think that
other studios have released content.
I get that, but also a lot of them have delayed games, and I also think that the timing, had there not been a
Starfield's been in existence since 2013. Where is it?
They said it's coming early next year.
I'm just trying to say that game's been going on forever, so that's way before you. You've given examples. You said, well, Mooch, listen, you're like Sony had games in the works, and then and I get that. Well, Starfield's been in the work. It's been in there forever.
Pull him down again.
So I'm gonna try and get King in here again. I don't know for some reason.
And they say it's gonna come out early next year, which I think is, listen. The delay sucks. I would have rather played it this year, but if it was gonna play like trash,
no, I hear you, Crab.
I'll wait a few more months.
It's not your place to answer for Microsoft either. King, if you can say something. I'm trying to get you in here. I want to read these other super chats real quick. Shout out to Shaq Fu. He says Xbox fans getting hype off PlayStation PC ports just shows how bad Xbox has been games wise. I feel bad for my PC Xbox brothers. I don't know, it says Xbox fans getting hype off PlayStation PC ports. I think he means the games that are going from PlayStation to PC, saying that the Xbox fans are getting hype off of it. I don't know. Shout out to Steady Flow.
I mean, they're only giving back what they got. I mean, everybody made fun of Xbox, including myself. I don't like that their games go to PC. You know what I mean?
No,
like, I'm very honest about that.
Hey, King, if you could say anything, just chime in. You're muted, and you're muted on both ends there, and it's not me. It's on your end. Persona, you see it, right? It says it's muted.
Yeah, I see it.
On my end, it says no mute.
He's muted and deafened.
It's muted and deafened. So, King, if you can undo that and try to say something, just chime in. There you go, King.
Hold on.
There it is. Yeah, you're good.
I have to hook my computer up, man.
Thank you, King. The phone, for some reason, Tim Dog, same thing. I can't get Tim Dog on his phone. It's always when he's on his PC, I can get him on. So, go ahead, King.
I was just wondering, like crap, man. We had a conversation before the show. I don't know if you remember. And first of all, before anybody say anything, look, I'm cool with crap, man. I argue with crap all the time, but I'm cool when we're real cool with crap. I have no problems with crap or nothing. I mean, we can disagree all day. I disagree with my wife daily. So, I mean, disagreements.
Well, King, that's marriage, bro. That's marriage.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want nobody to think that there's some kind of beef, even if you see us on Twitter talking shit back and forth to each other. We do that because that's Twitter and that's what we do. It's just fun. It's fun to talk and hear different perspectives and make people look wrong or right or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But never is there any problem between me, Crap, Mooch, hell, even Dealer and them. You know what I mean? Whatever. But we had a conversation about what we expect to see from this show before the show happened. Do you remember that conversation?
I said I expected to see gameplay.
Oh, we reducing stuff now? All right, what about the talk about the fiscal year? You remember that conversation?
Yeah, they're going to release. They said they're going to release at least 5 games within the next fiscal year.
Mm-hmm. They're going to release 5 games within the next fiscal year, which ends in June, right? June or July.
At least 5 games.
At the very least, they're going to release 5 games from their studios. All right, and what games are those?
Yes. We only know 3 of them so far.
So they had a whole show, and we still know the same 3 that we knew before the show.
Yeah.
So what do you give this show score then, bro? Like, why would you ever be happy with that?
I think I gave it an 8 or 7.5.
How is this show above average? Let me know which show this was better than.
What do you mean?
Well, you give it a score of above average, right? So I'm trying to ask you, what show was this show better than? Like, what year did Xbox have a show that this one beat?
I thought it beat last year's show.
It beat last year's show.
Which, yeah.
Where they announced exclusivity of Starfield, Redfall. They had 62 games launched with all those games.
Show us anything of those games.
With show or not show. They showed you the same exact shit they showed you last year, right? Except this time it showed you.
I wanted to see the gameplay. Yes, I wanted to see gameplay from the games we're getting. I would have liked to have known ahead of time that we were getting only 12 months out. But given the fact that, maybe we would have set our expectations a little bit, but looking at it as a person that's not myself, like they have to cater to more than just a gamer like myself.
No. But we're not talking about millions of others. Just crap. Just you.
Just me? Yeah, I liked it. I like especially the ending. I thought they really killed it with Starfield. I mean,
they killed it. They killed it. Okay,
it amazed me. Yeah.
Okay. What is Starfield about?
I thought Forza looked great. I thought Redfall looked good. There was some stuff in the middle. I mean, it had some boring stuff that I wasn't a fan of, but overall, I liked it.
Well, what'd you like best about Starfield?
What I thought it looked amazing. It was like I was in awe of it, just
you was in
I
awe?
thought like this is their to me, and it wasn't just me because I mean Brap was there too. The music, the quality looked to be there.
The quality
to be there big
to be there. Okay.
Absolutely.
You criticize Horizon Forbidden West for being janky, right?
Yeah.
Was this game janky to you? Starfield?
Was it? I haven't played it. How would I know?
No. You can see whether or not it's janky. You saw the gameplay. So you didn't see any jank.
Listen, I'm not going to sit there and look at a game with a fine-tooth comb or like.
You don't need to. You don't need to though.
From what I saw when I watched,
you didn't see any jank. You didn't see any jank. So you didn't see that those people were getting shot by bullets with no reactions at all until they died.
No.
You didn't see those bullets not coming from those guns. You didn't see those roaches having a reactional to your vicinity, and that's it.
No.
You didn't see all those mannequin.
There was a lot of I know the King Thrash did he did an in-depth review of it, but a lot of shows did.
When you watch it live, I don't know if anybody was sitting there going, "Look at this, look at this, look at this." If you wanted to play it back, if you wanted to play it back and look at all that stuff, that's on you. I'm not going to waste my time with that.
Okay, cool.
I haven't played it.
Why did you waste your time with Horizon's jank? What was janky about Horizon?
I didn't beat it.
What was janky?
I got about part way through it. What was janky about it? The combat is awful.
The combat is awful. Yet when you have a first-person shooter that has no reactions from your NPC, did you notice those people noticed that you were sneaking on them?
Thrash, let me explain. Thrash, let me ask you something. One game I'm actually playing. The other game is not coming out for a year.
Yeah,
and I haven't played it. How can I comment?
But you saw
how can I comment about it either way?
But
gameplay
you saw
of a game that's away.
But hey, real quick, King, I've seen your video. You were playing that in very slow motion. We don't know, and here's the thing with game development: a lot of those things are ironed out like 6 months or longer prior to release. Mm-hmm. We don't know what the actual gameplay is going to be like with Starfield. We don't know that yet.
Okay, so let me ask you a question: when has Bethesda ever made it better than what we saw?
That's a really good question.
I think Skyrim was far better than what I saw.
No, well, I will say this because wait. I will say this. I saw the criticism of Fallout 4, and it was better. And so it's like it's like and gamers we're not playing stuff at at slow frames where we're seeing what you
we're not
displayed.
Right. I mean, at regular speed, I noticed that those
we're not doing that though. So and again, we're taking footage from a game that's a year out. So
it's 6 months out.
So it's
more
than
it's at least
according to them, it's
April 2023. That's more than 6 months out. So I mean, we are basically we're trying to. You can't judge a game and its mechanics, right?
So then, why was this show better than last year's shows? If you see gameplay, you say, "Oh, I said it was gameplay." Why do you care about seeing gameplay if you're not going to say anything about the gameplay? What has the gameplay done for you?
Well, I think these things also exist on a spectrum too. But
I know.
Go ahead, Crap. I'm sorry.
Listen, I know what you're getting into now, right? Like, I know what Starfield was.
You didn't know what Starfield was, and you were hype about it, right? You didn't know what it was.
I was excited because
they said it was Skyrim in space, and that's exactly
Skyrim in space. That's exciting, and now we actually got to see it, and I'm even more excited for it. I think it looks fantastic. Right. I can't wait to play it.
Of course you are. I'm just wondering why you call more polished games jank, more beautiful games jank. Games that are actually fully open world.
If you want to talk graphically, if you want to talk about graphics. Yes, but even Mooch will say combat isn't great.
So look,
I thought the combat.
By the way,
wait. Let me say, the Horizon Zero Dawn, I thought the mechanics were not very good. I thought Forbidden West was good.
Mm-hmm.
No, I will say the Forbidden West
increase. No, it was Zero Dawn. That's a different story.
Yeah, I will say Forbidden West. Like when we talk about like janky combat, like the actual combat, like when you're the melee combat, a little janky. It wasn't great. It was improved, and it was much worse than the previous one, but
I think
so that janky combat made it bad. So when Starfield comes out with the same janky
it wasn't bad.
So
but we got to wait, King. We got to remember something. Like games exist on a spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have janky combat, bad combat, but if the narrative and everything else in that game overshadows that stuff, where as a player you're playing that game and you don't think about the jank combat, that game's been successful. If a game has great combat and the narrative sucks, but the combat's so good, you're not thinking about how bad that narrative is, the game is successful. Like these things exist on a spectrum. We have to remember that.
They do, but why do we give excuses? Wait, hold on. Why do we give excuses to Microsoft about COVID, right? They're not putting out games because COVID. But then you judge PlayStation games and say, quote unquote, they're jank, even though they worked through COVID to get this out. Nobody's saying, let me finish. When you cover PlayStation games and you say stuff about PlayStation games, you never say it's like this because COVID. But when you cover Xbox games, it's like this because COVID. It's not out because COVID. Excuse number 36 because COVID. Why is it that the people who are working through COVID to give us shit doesn't get that COVID excuse, but the people who are not working to give us shit, but just want to collect money monthly, they get the excuse of COVID, even now in 2022. Like, what's the difference between the two companies? Why is it only Microsoft that's suffering from COVID when we know the planet is suffering?
I in fact did say that Horizon Forbidden West was delayed specifically because of COVID.
No, but you said it came out. It came out during COVID, so why can't it be because COVID? Right? Like how come only Xbox gets that excuse? Microsoft launched with zero games at launch. Hold on, let me finish. Let me say something else. It's called.
Keep talking and don't let anybody else chime in.
Well, I'm just trying to tell you. Like you cut me off before I finish my point. I see that Xbox Series X came out. Xbox Series X came out in 2020 with absolutely no games, and everybody blamed COVID, even though it's called COVID-19, and it takes years for games to get made. And they launched that console with absolutely no exclusives, right? Zero, nothing from Microsoft, nothing for an entire year. Yeah, we gave them that, right?
Yep.
Everybody else is launching games throughout that. Third party. First party from Sony, first party from Nintendo, hell, even PCs was coming out with their busted ass games. Everyone but Microsoft, and you guys have given them this COVID excuse, right? And it's like, why is it that it's okay for a company to ride the COVID excuse all the way up until now, even though games should have been being developed years before COVID even existed? Why is it that we're making, like, even those games that should have been being made while COVID wasn't existing should have at least come out by now?
Yeah, like the Coalition should have a game out by now. 3 years? Right. Where's Coalition?
Rare should have their game.
State of Decay 3 should have been out.
Right, should have been out. Like, we're giving them excuses every year. Crazy. Oh, it's COVID. They gave you a year a window year of what they're bringing, and none of these games that we wanted to see were even shown. And it's like, bro, they should have been working on these games for years. There's no excuse.
It's just,
anymore,
you know what
man.
it is? Crap's not here to defend Microsoft.
You know,
the thing about it is, I think when it comes down to it, I think it's just, go ahead, Crap, I'll let you finish. You waited.
I'm just going to say, like, what game do you feel should have come out, right?
So, all of them.
In 2018, they had 4 studios.
All of them.
So all of them. All of the games should have been out.
They want my
crap.
They got all my money. They got all my money.
If they're going out there flexing, they need to deliver. When you come out there and you say,
I'll say this.
I'm only human.
Phil Spencer's only human, all right? Cut him some slack.
No, listen. Well, to cover your first point, I said, hey, God of War delayed due to COVID. Horizon due to COVID. Gran Turismo due to COVID. We've given them the same excuses. They're 3 big hitters this year.
Those games came out
into this year. Last year due to COVID.
Those games came out, and then before that, the PlayStation
making excuses for 2020.
Okay. The PlayStation 5 launched with what? The PlayStation 5 launched with what?
Launched with Miles Morales, Evenals, and Sackboy.
And Spider-Man 2 Remastered.
And Astrobot. And Astrobot, right?
Astrobot, yeah.
And then they also, and then in that year they had Ratchet and Clank launch, right? They did Ghost of Tsushima remake. They did Death Stranding
in
remake.
August.
Right. That year, I'm just saying, they came out in that launch window. Microsoft skipped their entire launch and launch window. So
and nobody's making an excuse for that. It sucks.
Let me get my shit. Yeah, no, that's right. Nobody made excuses for them, but they did all of that. They launched about 5 or 6 games during COVID. There was no excuse given. But
well, I mean, remasters. I mean, they're living
in 2022 into 2023.
Sony's leaning heavily on remasters and remakes this.
No, they're not. So but they're not. Microsoft is still leaning on
Or are they not?
That's the connection. What do you mean?
They released Death Stranding. They've released Death Stranding, a remastered. They released Ghost of Tsushima remastered. They released Uncharted remaster, and they're remaking The Last of. That's 4 remasters.
That's 4 remasters.
You know, the first year and a half. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's leaning heavily on it.
Okay, what else did they launch?
Is that not?
What else did they launch? They launched Ratchet and Clank. They launched Returnal. They launched.
Sure did. It was a good game.
Let me finish. They launched Astrobot. They launched Destruction All Stars. They launched that Sackboy game. The list goes on, and they still got.
I already mentioned those games, but Kn1ht's not a first party.
No, it's not a first party. But
no, I didn't say Kn1ht.
I did. I
said okay. Yeah, I was talking about.
See, when I come down to it as a consumer, I'm looking at what am I playing. If Kn1ht is on the PS5, it's not on another console. To me, that's a PS5 game. I'm not saying it's first party.
I don't understand your point. I've already said 2020 was bad for Xbox. 2021 they rebounded a little bit. 2022 they've had a disastrous year so far.
What did they rebound with? Forza Horizon 5
basically a new map with Forza Horizon 5
and Halo.
With nail polish and donuts.
And then look at hold on. You know what? You know what made 2022 successful though? Crap. The things that y'all wish was coming out. Y'all was wishing that the remaster of 007 was going to come. Y'all was wishing the remaster of Gears was going to come.
I wasn't wishing for no 007.
Hey, that's what people were saying. They're hype for there, bro.
Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, that was reaching for that. You know, I guess Xbox gamers do want these remakes and remasters. Sony is delivering on everything Xbox gamers want. Ain't that crazy? They even bring you more multiplayers. They announced more multiplayers that they're working on. That's going to be out in the next 5 years.
Multiplayers.
Then Microsoft. Yes. I don't even
like Microsoft does have some kind of multiplayer.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But Sony has announced that shit. Microsoft has. You know what Microsoft does? Nothing, because they launched 2 games in 3 years.
Okay.
That's what they're doing. And then the games they do launch are fucking disappointments. Halo is a disappointment. It's not even complete. Is there ray tracing in Halo? No. Is there multiplayer yet? Did they even fix on that yet? No. Like, what are we on right now? They actually
from launch.
They announced the DLC that they copied from Forza Horizon 3.
Oh, Christ.
I mean, they're not giving you. They had the nerve. Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76.
That was perfect answer. Crab's like crying.
Bro.
No, I mean, listen, the guy's a huckster. He's like, he talks really fast.
You talking about remaster? You talking about remaster? That's all they
mean.
I get your point to where these are things that Crap doesn't care about, so I get that. But, I do think that King makes a decent point when it comes down to it.
That I've never even said. I don't give a shit about. I don't care about a remake of a Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah, no, as far as you, Crap, I
I'm excited about the future of Xbox. That's the bottom line for me. I'm excited about the future of Xbox.
About the future. You've been excited about the future. You've been excited about the future since 2018.
I haven't.
You've been excited about the future of Xbox since 2018. I'll put up a video right now saying you're excited for the future, bro.
Yes, I was.
The future has never came. The future has never come.
How could Thrash? How could they have done anything with 4 studios?
I don't care.
How could they have?
How many studios Nintendo got?
Obviously, but
how many studios does Nintendo have? No. Answer that question.
I don't know.
How many studios does Nintendo have?
I have no clue. I have no clue.
How come a trillion?
But Thrash, what are PlayStation gamers like? I haven't touched my PlayStation 5 in 5 months. I haven't, I started Horizon and I put it down because it wasn't my bag. I didn't go on a fucking rant on Twitter and go, here's the jank.
Why not?
Because that's stupid.
Why?
I don't need that because I don't have to shit on everything that everybody else likes.
No. You should shit on everything that
I don't have to do that because that would make me
on everything that they are lacking.
That would
shit on everything
that somebody else what they like.
No, not about what they like. You should sit on Microsoft and PlayStation
So
for the things
people
you don't
can't be
like.
excited for anything, Thresh. People can't be excited for anything, according to you.
No, I don't care what they're excited for. You should be worried about yourself.
And yeah, I am, and I'm excited. And you're trying to bring down my excitement with bullshit.
I'm not burning it down. I'm just showing you the facts.
You are. You're trying to. You're not showing me any facts. It's not.
Your excitement is fake because they aren't giving.
Hey, Mooch has known me longer than any. Mooch has known me longer than everybody. Mooch, am I excited for what Xbox has?
You are.
Yes, you are.
You are excited for it. Yes.
Yeah. Because you have to be.
You can. No, I don't have to be. I'm not in cahoots. I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I don't get anything from Microsoft. I get nothing from Sony. I get nothing from either of these companies. I don't interact with them. None of them follow me.
All right, bet. I believe everything you just said, man. For sure, I gotta go though. My wife is gonna kill me. I literally hopped in here and nigga about to go eat and shit. Money.
No, I appreciate. I appreciate.
She's yelling at me in the background, like. Of course. Hey, I love the
she gonna kick the balls. Hurry up, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by, King. I appreciate you stopping by. All right, be easy, King. No, I know, and Crap. I think Crap and King both made good cases in their respective.
Very spirited debate, by the way.
Really good debate.
The thing is, though, he's talking about stuff I don't care about, so it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? And he talks fast and doesn't give you a chance to really respond. He's like, well, what about this? And then you go to respond. He's like, no, let me finish. And then he jumps to a different topic, and then you're like, so you totally forget the first thing that he's talking about to jump onto the second thing. Listen, Microsoft had a bad 2020. They rebounded some in 2022. 2022. I mean, 2021.
They've had a very bad.
Shitty.
They've had a bad.
Crap. They've had a very bad 2020 a long time.
To tell me, to tell me,
I mean, the thing is,
tell me that I'm not excited for stuff is ridiculous, man. I'm very excited for Starfield and Forza.
Yeah,
Redfall,
I'm excited too.
On.
Crap, I'm excited for Starfield too, but I will say this: like they've had a very bad 2020 for a long time, and the thing is that we have.
I admit it.
Hey, yo, Brad, we wait till E3 for like the past 5 years, man.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, we have a historical precedent here with previous Xbox consoles where they have delivered the goods, and that's my benchmark, right? Like, I look back at the OG Xbox, and they talk about the internal HD, which was the first for console gaming, the Ethernet port, which was the first for console gaming. They delivered.
I'll be. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I like Xbox so much isn't so much even for I haven't delivered the games, but it's just for the simplicity where my stuff that I played years ago. Well, and I know that's cheesy, but I'll be playing something that's like I hopped on South Park Stick of Truth, right? And my save file and everything is right. I'm playing it right now, Mooch. You might have seen me on it, right?
Yeah,
I'm playing through it.
I saw you.
Like I left it. Yeah. I got halfway through it in 2014.
And crap, that's fine.
And it just I love about it. You know what I mean?
But you don't have to upgrade a console to have that experience. Is my point. Like you don't.
I get but I like. I know, but I like what they're doing with that. My stuff will carry over because I've got 1,200 games.
And crap, and that's fine. And I would recommend a PC for you, sir, because PC's the best place to experience games and have access to an extensive library. I mean, I'm just saying it is.
Guys,
I'm just like, hey, why am I shunned for that? I mean, come on. I mean,
No, well, listen, Crap and I went back and forth with this a while ago. Crap said it to me months ago. He likes the
Lord of the Rings online briefly.
Yeah. Let me finish my point. Like,
I do. The thing is, listen, I do like the ecosystem. It's just, I mean, it's just for me personally.
I get it.
PlayStation 5. I think I'll say, like PlayStation has had better exclusives so far, and probably consistently, and their quality is better so far, right? I'm hoping that Microsoft breaks out of that. It remains to be seen. But for me, man, I'm almost 200,000 gamer score. I like achievements over trophies. My friends are more on Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like I just prefer. They just feels
your
more
friends are on
for
PC,
me. But I still play PlayStation like. I don't have any friends. I don't know, like
definitely not Mooch.
I had one friend try to get me to play something called somebody tried to get me to play something dead in 7 days or 7 days to die or something on PC, and I was like, you know what I mean?
I think that's on Xbox
because apparently
now,
the console version is it is, but it's not supported though. Like they didn't support it. It's like doesn't have all the content.
But crap. My criticism is this: is like again, I
kind of like my kickback.
But crap. My criticism again is that that historically speaking, Microsoft has delivered the goods. When they talked about, internal HD, we got Morrowind, we got Itagaki-san, who was like, you know what, Ninja Gaiden cannot exist on any other platform except for Xbox because it's the most powerful platform. Remember that? Itagaki, he went out there and was like, PlayStation 2 is like a piece of shit. Like that's basically what he said. So I mean, they had content and
well, I remember they had Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. Gabe Newell said that the PS3 was a disaster.
You in overtime.
We're in overtime. We're in overtime right now, Jez.
Is that Jez?
Let me do this.
Hey, Jez, what's going on, Jez?
We're swimming in the pool.
Hey, Mooch, I legit have to go, man.
I know.
Like
Crap, believe it or not, see, Brap's still selling PCs because he's been drinking since 5. I'm trying to get a drink here, Brap.
I'm not drinking. Actually, I am. That's not the point.
Hold on,
big floaty.
Crap, if you got to bounce, Crap, I completely understand.
I do gotta go, man. It has been fun.
I know, dude.
But yeah, it's like I gotta go.
Hey, Crap, send me some chocolate vodka, man.
All right, later.
All right, peace.
I will, man. I'm gonna have some.
I know, right? All right, Crap. Later. Peace out, buddy. All right, listen, let me read these super chats, and I want Jez to get a word in, then we'll, because I know that was also Persona's nice way of being like, Mooch, wrap it up. So I got my boy.
I was in the pool.
Yeah, you were in the pool. Shout out to Steady Flow. He says, remastered with extra hours of content. We were talking about something else before, so Steady Flow, thank you for the super chat, but I apologize. King Thresh sent in 3 super chats, way too gracious. King Thresh being on the show. I like it when King's on the show. I really do. Because, it's funny. I watch King's videos, and he puts a lot of time into the dissection of games. You may not agree with him. That's fine. But I recommend people go over and check out King Thrash's channel and check out his comparisons with games and all the events that go on. He says, Crap, want to complain about jank? He capped for Recore, State of K, Sea of Thieves. He said this already before. Then he comes back. He says, Crap spent years capped for Crackdown 3. I mean, you like Xbox so much. Why don't you hold it into a higher standard? And then King comes back. He says, Xbox is an entry device for Game Pass now. It's no longer a focus. Go rewatch the show. It was Game Pass 100% of the time, and they showed more exclusives for PC. Haid is back. He says, how do they give the devs time and force them out? TrueWiddy says, Modder Go B in overtime for Starfield. So shout out to TrueWiddy. Kratos99 says, remember Halo was scheduled to release in 2020. That was when we were talking about timelines. And Carl Smith says, you forgot Final Fantasy VII Remake, Deathloop, Ghostwire. And Face 23 comes in right now, and he says, I think most people who prefer Xbox are not for the games, it's for the ecosystem. That's an interesting point that Face brings up, though, because more and more people that I do talk to say all the time that they love the ecosystem. My friends are there, and that is a big part of which console you game on. But it's funny, just as the years have kind of progressed, and I'm saying this like Persona's going to make a new sound bit for this, but as you do get older, your friends that used to stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe you guys will understand this on the panel. I know Brad
not
gets
there
this.
Anymore, yeah.
Jazz, yeah, right. My friends that used to stay up with me till 2, 3 in the morning, Persona hit the button. They got kids. So
respect my time.
I got a wife and kids,
right? So they your friends that played until 3, 4. I used to play till 2:30, 3. I didn't even start gaming till 11:30 at night back in the day. I was playing till 3 in the morning. Those days have come and gone. So now for me, it's more about those story-driven games. It's more about that polish. It's more about that and I, because I'm a gamer, man. I'm not going to stop gaming. I'm going to be literally. They're going to bury me with a controller in my hands. But Jez, go ahead and get your 2 cents in. I appreciate you stopping by,
dude. No, I appreciate. I was in the pool, and then all of a sudden I looked at my phone, and Mooch gave me the signal, and I was like, "Give me my robe." I was with the floaty. I was in the pool like Tony Soprano.
I was just gonna say, I see you like Soprano with a robe and a cigar in your mouth. I gotta get the Mooch show.
That's it. I put down my cigar, put my robe on.
Jez, were you at the Bada Bing?
I was at the Bada. No, you're not allowed at the Bada Bing anymore.
Not allowed there. No.
You know what's funny?
With a wife and kids.
I used to call the GameStop in my area the Bada Bing Club because I used to go get my car serviced over at Pep Boys and walk across the street and hang out at GameStop when people knew about games and just chatted. And I called it the Bada Bing. It would just be hanging out with the employees. People just walk in. It was the old school days.
You went to the Stugatz.
Yeah, well, hey, let's go. Hey, Bada Bing.
A lot of people don't know what that is. That's got quite a meaning.
Dude, I know you guys have been here for a long time, man. I see the topics down here. Yeah, and actually, going to your super chats, guys. Shout out to Persona, Rap. How you guys doing, man? And Crap and Thrash, everybody was on.
I didn't even catch what you guys listened to. I have to listen to the replay. But like, to the super chats, like, one of the things that it's really telling. And I was listening to again a Phil video, and he believes in this whole they could still sell games, still do Game Pass, and still like and people will still buy games. And like he thinks that this world where all this stuff just kind of works, like it just works. And what I thought is the biggest take home from this show that they did was that I felt like it's just all Game Pass, day one Game Pass, and you see the what they're showing now at these supposedly E3 events. It's all just Game Pass. I'm like, don't you have anything else? Like, is there any game that's not in Game Pass that you want to kind of promote during this E3? Because people are coming for the big announcements, and when everything is just day one Game Pass, even multiplayer games, your whole show is dedicated to everything Game Pass. How can you come off in interviews and go, well, we're still going to sell games and do this and do that? It's not just to get everybody on a subscription. And he said that. And I have interviews with him, and I might even put him on my show about like what he was saying that stuff. And it's just like, but you're not following what you're wishing on, because now your whole show is all dedicated to Game Pass stuff. And I just think that it's not, it's just not what people want to see all the time. Like, there needs to be some sort of balance. You need to, like, imagine if Sony just did VR shows all the time. VR. It'll be like, you have other things besides that, right?
I do agree with you on that. Everything is just them kind of holding their hands close to each other and they're like, Game Pass. And it's like, I don't know. But don't get me wrong. Someone said this a long time ago on the show, Jez. They said basically Xbox is Game Pass now. That's it.
That's it. You know what else? Another notice too.
What annoyed me was like, every time they were showing something, they would have that world premiere shit in front of it, and then it'd be something like Pentiment.
Oh my God! Did you say world premiere?
Yeah, I'm just like,
you said world premiere.
Yeah,
world premiere.
And I'm just like, yo, like I feel like when you give like something a world premiere type of thing, it's supposed to lead with something premiere. Like super big, like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Well, that's how it used to be, Persona. When we used to see world premiere, it was like, put your seatbelt on.
World premiere.
Yeah, it was like world premiere, and then it was like Pentient. Yeah, you're like, oh, all right.
And know what else I noticed too is at the end of games is that it says PlayStation, Xbox, and then Xbox Game Pass is like a separate kind of thing, almost like another console, another
Xbox
thing.
Game
I'm noticing
Pass,
they're
1, 2,
doing
3 exclusive.
Oh, dude. The other thing too, this whole
I have a question, Jess. I don't mean to derail the conversation here. You still have that Long Island machine?
Yeah, I still have it. My Long Island machine. Yeah, I got it. My Bartesian.
Let's just finish this
point. So,
I'm sorry.
Well, what I want to say is
that I need to ask the guest here. I just want to ask the guest.
Dude, get the Bartesian. It's freaking awesome. And
all right, hey Mooch, we gotta hang out with Jez, man.
You got the Bartesian. I make
no problem with that.
So
we gotta go to the bada bing.
The other thing is like I find that they are really afraid of showing just raw gameplay. Like even that Forza thing, I know this whole Forza controversy. I was like watching it on when I replayed it, and I was like, I could see what Digital Foundry was talking about, but when they said this is Forza with in-game engine and then highlighting the trees and the grass, and I was like, Forza in-game engine. I don't think any year Forza was always guaranteed gameplay, and I can't believe that they showed an in-game engine of Forza. I don't understand why they did that for the 1 minute show.
It's not coming out this year.
And that was another thing, dude. The other thing is that, and this thing that drives me crazy, people excusing that Microsoft first party was a no-show because they're just showing 12 months. Why is nobody saying why isn't anything from Microsoft ready in 12 months?
Right.
Like that's the thing. Like people make an excuse why you don't see. They have a whole litany of games that they didn't even show gameplay. They announced 2 and 3 years ago.
2 full years
Crazy.
in this generation without a new game. You know what? That's a good point. You know what? Someone was saying to me in the chat last week, well, Mooch, Hellblade's not ready. Listen, that's fine.
Why?
But why isn't it ready? Release it in April. Release it in March. I don't care. June. I don't care. Like,
why isn't it ready?
That's the thing. But you can't say anything because God forbid you say, like, well, that's not part of their plan, Mooch. Come on, get with it.
It takes a decade to make a game. I'm like, why all of a sudden?
We gave 100 different examples tonight on the show of different games. Everything from Kojima's game, it took 3 years, to games that were working through the pandemic that they still got out and through. And then you have games like Starfield, which before they acquired them, they were working on Starfield way before they were acquired.
I did the Todd Howard interview. He announced it at 2018 E3, or was it 2019 or 2018 E3, right before Fallout 76.
Right, so 2018.
2018. Right? He said we've been thinking long. Yeah, he said we've been working on it since. And when he announced it, and he announced Elder Scrolls 6 at that same conference. He announced both of them.
And now we know that they haven't even started. If they started it, they're just sketching Elder Scrolls 6. Because that's going to be after Starfield's release. But whatever. I mean, whatever. I don't. Like I said, I'm not a dev. I don't pretend to be one. I'm just trying to say, like, when you see Nintendo and you see Sony doing it, and then Microsoft's like, and they bought these. Like we were saying tonight. I think even Persona said it. Where's State of Decay 3?
You know what I mean? That's the thing, man. It's not about being a dev. I'm not trying to
when did they acquire Undead Labs?
2018, and we actually had them on that. You know what? If you really want to see something, I got receipts for all this stuff. You want to see something? State of Decay 3 was one of the first games that Matt Booty confirmed they were working on almost like a month or weeks after they acquired them in 2018. That was like the first game. He said, State of Decay 3 is being worked on by Undead Labs. They just released it in 2018. They released the State of Decay 2. But Matt Booty was one of the first games that he mentioned that's the next game that they were going to make. I remember it was like a month or so after they acquired them. Well, actually at that E3.
Yeah.
So like they knew, like I don't understand where these games are. Everwild was announced at XO19. We're getting God of War 2 and Horizon 2, 1 and 2. Like we're getting sequels to games, and Microsoft can't even get gameplay out to games they announced in 2019.
Yeah. Yes, we're getting new games. New games.
And expansion
console exclusive. That's my point. It's like, wait a minute. We have Returnal. We have what's the other game? Oh my god!
From that first party? From Sony first party? Oh,
Sony first party. Yeah. Sony first party.
They had Returnal. They had Horizon. They had that's a new game. Oh, you mean new PS5 games?
Demon Souls, right? Remake. Ratchet and Clank. I mean, there's games that show off, and they're saying, look, we have this new console. It's it's got X power, whatever the case is. It has this haptic feedback controller, whatever. Dual sense. They were showing games that take advantage of these features. We haven't seen that from the machine that eats monsters for breakfast.
They haven't shown anything.
That's my point.
And I don't know. I don't know what the problem is.
Like why is everyone okay with that? Like that's not okay.
I do not know. And know what else is what I don't understand. I said this on my show. I don't understand how can you be excited for a game but then give the excuse of why you didn't see it and be okay with that instead of being disappointed that you didn't see it. If people are like, oh yeah, well yeah, it's taking time. Like, but if you're excited to a game, like. You shouldn't be excited for what they showed because their first party was a complete no-show. They didn't even do a sizzle reel showing what they got in development. They want you to forget about it almost. I remember Colt Eastwood was calling proof of life. He was saying for some of these games, like, let's say a proof of life. I'm like, that's pretty much the great words because they are forgotten everything. Like they didn't even sizzle reel this stuff going, hey, you remember guys, we got Perfect Dark. We got Avowed. We got this. Dude, that means that those games, who knows what state they're in because Microsoft didn't even acknowledge them at the after show or on their main show. They didn't even mention what their other studios are working on or even mention that those games exist, which is insane.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I really am.
Which are we gonna wrap up the show soon, man?
Yeah, TrueWiddy says just for Jez, this is the Philness. So shout out to TrueWiddy. You got a fan right there.
Philness after show. There we go.
After show, and then TrueWiddy says Starfield is a 25-year dream project in the making. That being said, let me do some outros, guys. First of all, thanks for all the super chats, guys. Thanks for staying with us. Over 300, and we're at 3 hours.
Hit that like.
Jez, go ahead and plug the channel, buddy. I appreciate you leaving the family to come out and hang out with us.
No problem, man. No problem. I didn't really I saw your tweet and I was like, you're still live? I'm like, let me jump on. But I appreciate the invite. I wish I could talk to you guys for longer today.
Hey, Jez, I'm coming to Staten Island or Long Island soon.
Bada Bing Club. Let's go to Bada Bing.
Are you in Staten Island or Long Island? I forget.
No, I used to be in Staten Island. Now I'm still in Staten Island. Staten Island, I'm in New Jersey, but my family's still in Staten Island.
All right,
let's go up there.
Okay, we're gonna hang out, man.
That's all the parties are. But yes, follow me over at Jez7780 Grinds My Gears GMG and do the Grindhouse and Grinds Gaming Bites. So definitely some streaming as well. And dude, you want to hear sound clips, interviews, and all the Phil Ness and booty song? I got the booty song, man. Oh goodness. Bring that booty.
What's that woman that you have that does that like?
What is that booty song? What is that?
Holy Spirit, activate.
Holy Spirit, activate. When you do that, I lose it, man.
What?
You got to watch this show, man. It's a great show. It's a great show.
Honestly, what is it?
The two
it's the from
the two greatest solo cast guys that I listen to on the regular is Persona Jez, man. These guys, they do like these long shows, man, and they've got sound effects and they do it's honestly one of the most entertaining things. And it's funny because Persona goes live 5:30 on Monday. And
yes.
Jez goes Monday at 8 p.m. I wish you guys were on different days because I'm like, man, my Mondays are just full on
Persona.
YouTube.
Exactly. Persona goes. I was like, good, because I see Persona goes on 5:30. I'm like, yep, I got it at 8 o'clock, 8:30. I'm good, and we go.
Jez, you're funny too. Sometimes Jez will say he's starting at 8. He'll start at 9. Then same thing. I'll watch the beginning of it. And I'm like, well, I'll catch the rest of Jez afterwards after I watch my show. So I get done watching the show. Jez is still live. It's 12:30 in the morning. And then he's like, well, maybe I'll stream something later. I'm like, what the hell is this guy on? How's he doing this?
Those are Long Island iced teas. That's what it is.
I appreciate it, Jez. Thank you, buddy. Keep up the good work. Persona, please, man. Honestly, I know I kept you here way too long, but I apologize. Kept you from your gaming. Kept you from your family, right? You got family too, Persona, and I apologize for keeping you from them. But listen, man, thanks for being here, man. You know I love the work you do. Love following you on Twitter or YouTube, man. You're always entertaining yourself. You keep gaming alive, man. You play games, you talk games. So let people know where they can find you. I know you got a big show tomorrow morning.
Yeah, man. So first off, shout out to the panel. It's always a good time when I stop by the Crossfire podcast.
Appreciate
that.
Shout
out to the panel. And shout out to Crap, man. I know Crap. I know Crap a very, very long time from way back in the day. So it's good to get those debates in and whatnot, man.
Yes.
And shout out to the panel, man. I mean, shout out to the chat, man. I counted about 3 people today, Mooch.
Yeah,
it was about 3 or 4 people. Hating in the chat, but shout out to them too, man. Shout out to the chat. Hit the like button.
3 hating me too. That's funny.
Yeah, listen, man. You never know, right?
You never know.
But for me, man, I am Persona. My Twitter is at Persona Speaks, and me and Bari, my bro Bari, we do a podcast every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. What's Up PlayStation podcast, and we talk game in there, man. It's a lot of game talk. With me and Bari, and that's it, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yo, thank you for swinging by, Persona. I appreciate that, man. Absolutely. And the great Brap, who's many drinks ahead of me, and I'm jealous of that. Brap,
not that many. No, not that many.
No,
I got the Crown Royal in the fridge, so don't worry. I'm gonna
I'm about to snap a shot of that and send it to you, Persona. No, Brap, go ahead, plug your channel, buddy.
J-Bar refers me to Henny Brap, so I have some Henny in the refrigerator. So,
Brap, let everyone know they can find you, buddy.
Basement Radio Arcade Podcast on YouTube or Brap _ podcast on the Twitters. Yeah, give us a follow. And Mooch.
Yes, sir.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. I love Fridays, man. I love Fridays. You know why?
I do too, man.
Crossfire, man. It's great. I meant to call you to get your BP up, but that didn't happen. So
no, this show did it for me, buddy. I won't fall asleep until about 4 in the morning now, so I'm good.
Yeah.
So
great show, man. Seriously, great. Yeah, they're great shows always, man, and it's a great way to kick off the weekend, man. So
absolutely, the gaming weekend kicks off with Crossfire, man. I appreciate that, guys. But listen, I am planning to do a little bit of streaming.
Real quick,
please.
Double kill.
Thank you, Brap, for that. Brap has got the Guinness World Record for longest pregame and longest outro.
I'm telling you, when that guy kicks the bucket,
it's yours. It's your job.
Yeah, that job is mine. You will hear my voice. You will hear my voice running riot.
They'll just have Phil. They'll just do Phil Spencer on there.
Oh, don't do that. No, they should not do that.
Marshmallows.
This was true. I will say this. This was a true Crossfire podcast today.
Say again, Persona?
Yeah, it definitely was.
True Crossfire podcast.
Facts, 100%. Listen, every once in a while, we got to get an old-fashioned, Crossfire in here, man. We got to do it. We promise the audience we're here to deliver. Guys, that being said, enjoy your weekend. Do some barbecue. If you're in New York, enjoy the weather because we don't get it very often. Let's go, Mets. We just won again. So guess what? We'll see you guys next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And check out twitch.tv, Mooch TV over there. We're going to be doing a little streaming later.
World Series, let's go.
Let's go, baby. Peace out. Good night.